son of a bitch.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Because you are my friend.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Super Enabler Bros. I am Jason the Corpse Sled Gaming, accompanied by my fantastic co-host, Chris, the old ass retro gamer.
My nipples look like milk duds.
Cool. Mine, I don't know. Mine are innies. Just kidding. They're not. Yeah, well, it's been a while since we did an episode. So long, in fact, that I was like, was doing our last episode and we just did one I forgot about, or has it been that long?
Yeah,
it's been a while. So lots has been going on. So lots to catch up on. I mean, that's not a lot going on here, really, but just in the world, a lot has been going on. So what you been up to?
Sounds like less has been going on in your neck of the woods.
Nothing's been going on.
Yeah.
Extended second lockdown, or third or fourth, I don't know. It's like it's worse than at the beginning, so I don't know what they're doing.
And they're lightening up everything over here. So, like we're talking, by the 4th of July, there's going to be everything's going to be opened up.
It was funny because like the States was the laughing stock. We're like, oh my god, look how crazy their cases are getting. Now everyone's like opening up, and then I think it's just my province. I don't think all of them are this bad. It's just locked down everywhere. I'm like, they should do it kind of regional, because Toronto is part of Ontario and they're acting like everywhere is as bad as Toronto is right now. And I'm like, no, we're really remote. Like, can I go to Walmart and go down the toy aisle, please? Can I go buy some video games to, at least since I can't go anywhere else, can I enjoy where I am? No.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
And it seems that Amazon Canada is like also on lockdown.
Dropping the ball like they're coated in Crisco.
Like Jason Statham in the transporter when he's covered in the grease.
Yeah. It was
Slippy.
I've never, like, I'm usually pretty patient, so stuff shows up a little late. I'm like, no big deal. But when I'm like, it's my only avenue for getting things that aren't just food.
Yeah.
It's super annoying. Like, I should have beaten Resident Evil 8 at least a week ago. And I still don't even have it. And I pre-ordered it. I didn't just after the fact go, you know what, that looks good. I think I'll buy it. I was all in after the last couple. Even though I wasn't super crazy about the remake of 3, I was all like, yeah, 8 looks amazing. And I hear it's amazing. And I'm glad that Church hasn't gotten around to it, because we just did our newest episode. And he has it, but he hasn't gotten around to play it yet. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, we played Predator the other night. We were talking about it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna try to beat Nier first, and then I think I'm gonna go into it.
It's good. Well, that means he just beat it yesterday, so I got to.
So you're fucked.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm all.
Just go Redbox it, man.
We don't have Redbox.
Ah,
Redbox went out of business like a long time ago here. Like usually, a couple days, I don't care. I'm like, oh yeah, it came out on Friday. I'm not bitching if it shows up on Tuesday. It's fine. But the ETA on Amazon said June 1st to July 12th. Like, basically just whenever we want. So I'm playing this little game of, will the store be open for me to be able to just go there and buy it before Amazon ships it to me? So that's not the game I want to be playing. The game I want to be playing is the game I'm waiting for. But there's that. And now apparently they're both shipped. That and the Mass
Effect.
Effect.
Against time.
Yeah, the Mass Effect Legendary Collection.
Ooh.
So I'm like, ooh, now it's a race.
Is it all 3 games, or is it just the one?
All 3, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I haven't played yet?
I know. I thought you were getting it. You should have it already.
I should get it.
Did you order it from Canadian Amazon? Because you might be waiting a bit.
I might not get it until next year.
Yeah, I was like, oh, good thing I pre-ordered it.
I might actually have time to play it then.
Yeah, like I actually altered a meme. Someone made a meme about a limited run. It was like The Simpsons. Don't make me tap the sign, and then the sign says, "You'll get your game when we damn well please," or something like that. So I just changed it to Amazon.ca, and I was like, it still works. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to tear something down, but yeah, that's pretty shitty. I don't know what the point of pre-ordering anything is
anymore. Yeah.
especially when they don't do the 20% off pre-orders even. So
yeah, that's why I wish I still had my Gamers Club unlocked for Best Buy, because I would order everything new through them.
yeah, and I love
And
my
that was one of the
Amazon.com.
reasons why I got Prime with Amazon to begin with. Also, it wasn't just the free shipping and the streaming; it was because of the savings on the games.
Yeah, and I don't know how like yeah, I'm right on the border, as we know. I don't know how it's so drastically different. Like I don't like it's got to be just Canadian mail service. I don't know how like we don't have it figured out yet. Like it's not like I live somewhere like really remote. It's not like I live in like Nunavut or somewhere like just
Peak
like
of a mountain,
like like you have to fly in because there's no road.
It's not Nome, Alaska.
Yeah, like damn it, dude. So yeah, I was just a little sour about that because especially when I see everyone like being like, "This game is so good." It's like at least in my top 3 Resident Evils now. I'm like, nah. When something's late, I always want some. It's good, but not that good. And I haven't seen one
there's
person
me
say
who's
that.
going to wait until the gold edition comes out. And there's a VR version.
Do it. Yeah. I don't know. So the game pickups have been slow as a result of that. And I was like, why haven't I been buying that many games during the pandemic? Unless it's at Walmart or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why. Because I don't know, takes a month, 2 months, 3 months to get here. Like I ordered some stuff from the UK, and it showed up way faster than stuff I ordered in Canada. So I'm like, I don't get. I don't like to knock anybody, but yeah, I just don't know how we don't have that figured out.
bullshit.
Because if it was like Amazon.com and stuff was showing up this late, that stuff would be free when it got here.
Yeah.
So
You can probably still complain.
yeah, they'd say
What's
sorry.
the point of pre? Yeah, sorry.
I can't even get out what's wrong before they say sorry 7 times. Like, I'm Canadian too, and I'm annoyed by your politeness. Stop.
Just give me back my money.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny thing is like I bitched about it to someone on Twitter, just kind of like a passing remark when they were talking about like who's all playing this, and I was like, not me. And then I said I didn't tag Amazon. I just said Amazon didn't get to me, and then Amazon like I don't know creeped on it and found me, and they're like, we're sorry. Have you tried this? And I was like, bitch, you don't know. I didn't click on it. I was like, whatever.
What your problem is?
Yeah. So yeah, some stuff seems to be rolling in all right, but I've been buying a lot. It's just not showing up as fast as it could.
I'm not buying a lot because I don't got no money.
I'm working all the time, so I better have the goddamn money. I've been working a ridiculous amount, and it's been wearing me down, which is why I'm still behind on shit like posting tweets when I beat stuff. Because I'm like, I want to catch up before I post a new one. So then I just add another one to the pile when I beat it, and I'm like, I really got to do something with those. So, as far as
it's easy to keep up with my beat tweets because it's like 1 a month, maybe.
You know, people are gonna start thinking I died. Like that guy was beating like 30
Is Jason
games.
okay?
That guy was beating like 30 games every 2 weeks. So someone's got him in a basement. Someone look for that fella. So
Is there another franchise of games that has like 55 entries in it that he can play in a month again?
yeah. like for my April Fool's joke was
Can you play through every Assassin's Creed game in 1 month?
Oh man, no. Valhalla sounds like it's going to take me a month, which is kind of why I didn't jump into it yet. Because I've seen some people be like, I'm 140 hours in, and I'm like, barely started the story. And I'm like, that sounds incredibly daunting, and now I don't know if I want to jump into that yet. So we'll see. I mean, I might have plenty of time to beat it before Resident Evil gets here. Okay, that's the last of the shade. That's like
Let's get to the good stuff.
I'm all out of shade. But yeah. So I have been playing stuff, quite to the contrary of my Twitter posts. Have you been playing, watching?
Yeah.
Listening, reading? I don't know. Anything?
Yeah. Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about some of that.
I've been on kind of I want to say at the end of February, I was kind of in a funk and I wanted to watch funny stuff. So I started like watching. I don't like sitcoms normally, but I was like, oh, there's some things that I thought sounded look kind of fun that I wanted to check out. So I watched all of The Good Place on Netflix.
Okay.
And I watched the first season on
the
Hulu.
Is that the one
That's
where
the
they're in heaven?
Sorta.
Where it's supposed to be heaven? Like at the beginning, it's got...
It's Kristen Bell.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I
And,
started
Ted
watching
Danson.
that.
I watched the first season when it was actually being broadcast. I'd watch it on Hulu the day after the episode premiered.
Okay.
And like I never knew when the second season started, so I never went through with it or never finished it. So now that it's all on Netflix, I just binged it, and that is one of the best shows I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know why I really just dropped that show. My wife and I started watching, and we're like probably got like 5 episodes in like 2 days,
Mhm.
and then it's like we just forgot about it completely.
Yeah,
Like there wasn't like oh, that started good, but man, that's boring now. Like it was good, and then we just like didn't continue with it. I don't
It's
know.
like the way the first season ends, you kind of think that it's just going to be extremely like the next season is just going to be extremely repetitive, and they find a way to just. And it's only 4 seasons long, but they find a way to constantly keep it fresh and not repetitive at all. And that it has like the perfect finale episode. And I like all the characters. It's funny. It's smart. You know, I normally don't like that kind of stuff, but I love that. It's one of my favorite shows now. I mean, I could rewatch it too. It's really good.
I'll have to pick it up again.
Yeah, I loved it. I also ended up watching a couple of Canadian sitcoms while I was at it. Everyone keeps on talking up the Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I haven't checked that out at all.
Well, it was rough for the first season because I didn't like any of the characters.
That'll make the show rough.
Yeah, well, it's just like but I'm sitting there saying to myself, well, this show's won all these awards, and everyone brags about how great it is. I'm like, there has to be something here.
And you're like, why for?
Yeah, so I watched the first season. I was like, I don't like any of these characters. Like, they're all just a bunch of self-centered asshats. They're just kind of unlikable. I'm like, I'll watch the second season, and the second season things start to change. And by the end of the show, by the end of the whole season or the whole series, it's like, okay, I really like these characters, and it's another one that has a really good ending. It ends where it's a satisfying ending, but they can keep going with it if they decide to make like a movie or something or a TV movie.
That's good. I like something where they don't totally cut it off. Where you're like, okay, if they add anything to this, it's gonna look stupid.
Yeah, there's still room for it to go places if they really wanted it to, but I mean, it ended in a satisfactory place if they don't.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, the character of Stevie, I love Stevie, the girl that runs the motel that the main characters live at.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the gift of the snark, and I think she's great, and she's cute as hell too.
Well, that's a plus.
And then I ended up watching Kim's Convenience, all 4 seasons of it. They're working on season 5 right now.
Yeah, I thought I could swear I heard that it was canceled. Maybe this is the last season.
I would assume so because one of the actors in it's going to hit the big time in a couple of months.
Well, yeah, like there's a couple of people I think from there that are pretty well known, and like that show, I've only heard good things about it. I heard about it getting awards, and then when I heard it was canceled, I was like, huh? Did the people who make the show cancel it, or did
I think that might be what's happening because I know I watched a thing on YouTube about season 5, and they're like filming. They found a way to film it throughout the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there is a 5th season happening. It's just that this might be it.
Well, maybe maybe all the people in the show decided like
move on. Yeah,
I'm kind of
like I said, one of them's going to hit it big in a few months. So yeah, that could also have something to do with it.
Man, one of them was already on Star Wars, so
that's come on. One of them's on The Mandalorian. He had a cameo in The Mandalorian.
It's like the biggest show as far as I'm concerned.
But yeah, it's just a show about a Korean family that owns a convenience store, and very soap opera-y, but funny things happen. Since I'm like obsessed with Korean food and shit, I found it fascinating.
My wife is just straight up obsessed with Korean, so I'm surprised she hasn't watched it. But the Korean Canadians, maybe she's just like Koreans in Korea is what
I want to go to Korea. I would love to go to Korea. Right, but yeah, it's funny, and there's an actress in it that runs the car rental place where the son of the family works, And after maybe I want to say 5 or 6 episodes of the show, I said if I ever made a goddamn movie, I'm casting her in it sight unseen. I don't care what the fuck she does in it. I just want her in my movie. She's so good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I recommend that. Then I watched the final season of Castlevania.
Sweet.
It is so good.
I'm 5/8 of the way through it myself, and I'm absolutely loving it. Like, it's one of my favorite. It's definitely better than the third one. Like, I was kind of hit and miss on the third season. It wasn't bad by any stretch, but I definitely enjoyed season 1 and 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 is more on par with how I was enjoying it before. So I'm all over it. If it wasn't a show that my wife and I watched together, I would have blasted through it in a night at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, since it's a show we watch together, and I've been working such crazy hours. I've been on a ton of nights. Before that, I was on a ton of 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.s.
Yeah.
So there was like no hanging out there either. So yeah, we actually hung out and watched 5 in a row last night. So that's the only reason I've even seen any of it.
I love it. I'm gonna miss it. I mean, I'm glad they ended it because there is like a sell-by date that shows should have, and I'm glad that they realized that maybe we should just end it at 4 before it just keeps dragging on and on and on.
Yeah. Like, but again with this Dracula guy.
Yeah. Well, that's like the whole point of the season. Let's bring Dracula back.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I love how he's so over it already too. Just, oh my God. So sick of these guys. Like, why would you do that? Who's he bringing back? Like, that was like the second episode.
Yeah.
When he's like, they're trying to bring
like,
back.
Why do these people keep on doing this? Does he not know that he wants to kill them all?
I like that he just asks the guys that are in the room. He's like, would you do that? No. Would you do that? Who would do
those
that?
people that were cowering in the corner?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Trevor's like, would you want to do that? No. Yeah, it was great. I love Trevor as a character. He's great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But yeah, every character gets like a lot of really cool moments to do some awesome shit. It ends, and it has like a really cool epilogue too. So yeah, and it does. It's another one that kind of ends satisfactorily. But if they really wanted to, they can spin it off, which is what you said they're probably doing.
Yeah, they are doing a spin off. So
that's great. And then I watched the first season of Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. And that's another one that I had a hard time getting through, kind of like Schitt's Creek. Okay. Because all the characters are completely unlikable.
So was it not a good show, or is it?
Well, the first episode is really rough because it's about a bunch of superheroes, and there's like a Justice League of these superheroes, and the two main heroes are a couple. They're a husband and wife, and they have 2 kids who both have superpowers also. One of them has decided to join that Justice League. The other one's just kind of like, fuck this superhero shit, and I'm going to be a druggie. And the dad, who is the utopian, he has this code that he wants everyone to follow where it's like, we don't kill anybody. They don't kill us. Like, the villains don't kill us. We don't kill our villains and all that. It's just all about, not being dicks. Yeah. And his son, while they're in the battle where people are actually dying because the villains decide to say, fuck it, we're killing you now.
Yeah.
During a fight where heroes are dying, the son actually kills the villain by like splattering his head.
I didn't realize this was a superhero show at all. Like, I just kind of saw the banner, and it doesn't really give any info about the show. It's just someone's face and the name of the show, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
But it's got this whole thing about trying to like live up to your parents' expectations and what like the stress of that can do to you and all that, and being gaslit by your parents and then, but there's also this like flashback stuff where they show how the superheroes in the story got their powers, and it keeps flashing back to that time period. And it kind of gets confusing. But there was like one scene I want to say in the second to the last episode where a character has like a speech to another character that actually reminded me of the way I used to get along with my dad. And I was like, oh, this is hitting a little close to home.
The feels.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, but like it starts off, like I said, it starts off rough because in the first episode I didn't like any of the characters. Everyone's just an asshole. But by the end, it's okay, but it's still kind of rough. It's obviously gonna go in some really cool directions if they do the season 2. So we'll see how that goes.
So we're gonna get more into this in a little bit, but how are the superheroes themselves? Do they feel like cheap
Well,
knockoffs of
the
other
Utopian.
superheroes?
Well, everyone kind of has the same kind of powers. Like the Utopian is super strong. He's basically Superman. His wife is basically Superwoman.
Okay.
His son is basically Superboy.
Okay. So they're basically all kind of the same thing?
Well, there's like the other people in the Justice League, like the Utopian's brother is kind of like Professor X.
Okay.
He could get into your mind and probe your mind and make you like he can paralyze you by like turning your brain off.
Okay.
One person I think controls fire. I can't remember what everybody did. They like a lot of them die in the first episode, so you don't really get to see what a lot of them ended up doing.
Okay, it kind of sounds like another show that we both recently watched.
Yeah, and then I started watching Invincible.
So you just started watching? You didn't...
I just started.
Okay.
I watched 3 episodes of it today.
Okay,
and I'm really liking it a lot.
That's a show. I blasted through that. I think 2 days. I watched it all, and yeah,
I think it's really way better than Jupiter's Legacy.
Okay, and the only problem I really had with that show was the characters themselves, the way they acted out and everything was their own thing, but I couldn't care at all about the actual superheroes because they all were like such generic, like dollar store ripoffs of.
Oh yeah, well, I think that was the point.
This is an exact Justice League.
Yeah.
So like to that part, I was just kind of like, I'm not into any of the real superhero action because it just feels like I'm watching like
Justice League,
Justice League F team.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think that was the point because the thing was like the whole first episode, I'm sitting there going, I thought this was supposed to be an adult show.
Yeah.
And it was like watching an episode of Justice League Unlimited. It was like, no one was really cursing. There's really no violence. There's just a lot of punching. Yeah. And then the last 5 minutes, it was just like oh, by the way, fuck that.
Yeah, it's like Garth Ennis came in and wrote the rest.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. And that was when I was like, I need to watch episode 2 to find out what happens next. Oh, I need to watch episode 3. And the only reason I stopped was because I got stuff I got to do today. I got a podcast to record.
Exactly. I would. Oh, blame me. Fuck. But I was I was kind of talking to you without any spoilers while watching. I mean, that I was just like, I'm really enjoying the story, but I just like don't care about that part as much. I'm like, yeah, I want to see what happens in the story and all this and that, but I'm like, the superhero battles that are usually like the thrilling part, I'm like, yeah, that takes a back.
I love that. The Aquaman guy was essentially just a fish.
Yeah, straight up fish, dude. Yeah.
And I like how he's sitting on his throne. He's just kind of like, oh, this is so boring. And then his watch goes off. Finally! Whee!
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a really good show. I'll definitely be looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, the guy. It's hard to believe that the guy who wrote the comics that's based on is the same guy who wrote the Walking Dead comics.
Yeah.
And he wrote that like 6 months before Walking Dead came out.
Yeah,
but it makes sense because it's the social commentary thing that he's doing.
It's definitely like, it's kind of like, kind of like a parallel to The Boys, where like this is what showing the reality. Like when it shows like, like the Justice League and the Avengers and X-Men and that kind of stuff. It's more like what you'd expect, and this kind of stuff like subverts and like this is how it would actually be if there was really superheroes. And that's what I love so much about The Boys. I love The Boys probably 10 times more than Invincible, but I still really enjoyed Invincible. Like even though The Boys was like they're straight up, you're like, that's obviously Wonder Woman, that's obviously Superman.
Oh yeah,
but it's basically like
and Aquaman. yeah,
definitely.
Who's in Scientology now?
Yeah,
you want a fresca?
Yeah, I really can't wait for the next episode, season of that.
Yeah,
and I'm all in on. There's some figures coming out that I'll be probably showing in a future episodes.
Oh shit!
But
what you been watching?
Well, I watched through Immortal myself.
Or
Invincible myself, and
it's kind of funny to note that I guess everybody that played the original Justice League characters on Invincible were all actors from the Walking Dead show.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like
That's
Sonequa
cool.
Martin Green from Discovery. He used to be on Walking Dead. She played the Martian Manhunter type, or the one that wore like the green screen suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was her. Like all of those people were actors from the Walking Dead show.
that's funny. Well, I knew about the main character, but I didn't know about like a
Oh
whole
yeah,
bunch of them. That's cool. I didn't really look.
J.K. Simmons
in-
plays the dad.
Hell yeah.
I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there going like, I know the voice of Robot. I know is that fucking Spock? Sure enough, it's Zachary Quinto.
Quinto? Yeah. Yeah, tremendous job by everyone that like on that show. Like,
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I'm gonna probably watch more of it tonight when we're done. Even though I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
how long
So
we run.
we're
This is gonna be an
basic-
8-hour episode. I'm gonna watch some shit tonight.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it as part of the episode. Fuck it. We'll just do a
Let's do
commentary.
Go watch along.
Yeah, it was
Super Enabler Brothers watch along, bitches.
It's funny. We're like backwards basically. Like I'm about just over halfway through Castlevania. You're just starting out Invincible. So
Yeah.
we can we'll follow up next episode, I guess. What else have I been watching? Well, I watched the new Mortal Kombat
Yes.
since our last episode.
Yeah. I should have talked about the movies I saw too. Shit. I just wanted to talk about the TV.
Oh,
Goddamn.
shows. Oh, what other shows? Well, I'm watching a lot of Solar Opposites, which is made by the same people who make Rick and Morty, and I actually think I like it more than Rick and Morty.
I've never actually seen an episode of Rick and Morty.
It's what's weird is that it's been out. I'm pretty sure it's the first 2 seasons are already done, and I think a third is either in the works or it's already out, it's coming out. And Disney Plus is treating it like it's, Falcon and the Winter Soldier or something, and they're putting it out weekly releases of a show that's been out for a while. So I don't get why they're doing that, especially when it's available in other places, just not any places I can access.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb. But yeah, I've been loving that show. I've been watching it weekly as it comes out. I actually saved up 3 weeks and we watched all 3 of them last night too. So maybe I shouldn't have done that and I could have just finished Castlevania. But we kind of like kept switching it up. We had a night to ourselves, which was great. We haven't had one of those in a long time. So we just cooked a whole smorgasbord of food and watched shows.
Oh yeah.
Besides that, I checked out the first episode of MODOK, which is a brand new series. Apparently Hulu has all 10 episodes, but again, Disney Plus gonna hit you with that weekly release. So
You got to keep you coming back. You got to keep that subscription, bro.
So Patton Oswalt plays MODOK.
That makes sense.
And apparently I think he writes it too. It's like it says from the minds of Patton Oswalt and another guy. I didn't recognize his name, but it's pretty entertaining. At first, I was just like, this just looks like some kind of ripoff of Robot Chicken. Then I found out that it's actually from the same studio as Robot Chicken. So I'm like, that's why.
Is it animated?
Yeah, it's like claymation basically.
Oh,
Like animated claymation, and it's pretty funny. It's not little skits like Robot Chicken is. It's just a full story, and I thought it was pretty funny. I'm gonna check out more. My wife seemed kind of indifferent to it, so like she was laughing at a few parts, but wasn't like super into it. I think she was just looking at TikTok.
no huffa.
Yeah, so I think it's a show I'm safe to watch when it comes out. So I'll be
You have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I don't have Hulu. I don't even know if you can get Hulu in Canada without like a VPN.
Disney Plus Pro, that bundle.
VPN or something. Yeah, I don't think Hulu is even offered as part of it.
That's weird.
Pretty sure it's just like we got Crave here, and I'm pretty sure that's the equivalent over there as Hulu. So whatever. The borders that divide us. I don't. Yeah. So besides that, I don't know other shows. A wrestling docu-series I like called Dark Side of the Ring. Season 3 has started coming out, and as you know, I don't give a shit about current wrestling, but I'm pretty much all in on anything about classic wrestling, and it's kind of a bummer of a show because it's the Dark Side of the Ring, so it's all
about Jake the Snake on cocaine.
Well, Jake the Snake's in the last episode, but I don't think there's one about him. Because he's got a whole movie about him.
Yeah, did you ever see Beyond the Mat?
Yeah, Beyond the Mat, he's in that, and then there's
I saw that in the theater actually.
And then I think the movie documentary is called like The Rise of Jake the Snake or The Fall and Rise of Jake the Snake, and it's about him like meeting up with DDP and getting on his like yoga program and like just dragging himself out and
the DDP Pilates.
Yeah,
GD
but,
Pilates.
yeah. Basically, Beyond the Mat is kind of like that, but it's all like stories. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is about the Von Erichs. This episode's about Macho Man and stuff like that. Like how like some people are like people you've never even heard of, unless you're like really deep into wrestling. Like a couple, I'm like I know the name, but I wouldn't know him to even see him. But the episodes are like hilarious. Just kidding. No, not hilarious. They're super.
Yeah, I was gonna say
super entertaining. Not hilarious at all. And then the season 3 has been pretty good so far. It comes out on Thursdays, which is good because I've been working overnights the last 3 Thursdays.
So you have to watch it at work.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you're in any way a wrestling fan. Even if you're not, they're just really entertaining and in depth, well done documentaries, and they
I might check it out.
the newest one was about the biggest wrestling event of all time.
WrestleMania 3?
That like no one knows about.
Oh.
It was in North Korea, and a bunch of WCW guys went, and it went about how you'd expect something in North Korea when Americans go there because they're so beloved in North Korea. So they were like talking about how like this was some bullshit, but they almost could just like got kept there. So yeah, it was. It was pretty, fascinating. But it's the largest attendance of any wrestling event ever because it was mandatory attendance. You know how North Korea does that shit. So there's like 300,000 people there. So sweet. And then they're like, "Yeah, we're doing our match," and it's completely silent because none of them have ever even seen pro wrestling. So they're like, "What are we supposed to do?"
Yeah, what is this? What?
And like, I don't know the storyline, and like, why these guys are pretending to beat each other up. I don't get it. If you even scuffle around here, you just get shot in the head. So I don't get it.
They only did it because he's so ornery.
Yeah, it was in like it was like in the mid '90s and stuff, and it was it's a really cool episode. Like it was very interesting and all the stuff. So like I said, even if it's something you don't care about, like I might even suggest you check it out because it's.
Well, I might. I was gonna say
super interesting.
If it's about classic wrestling, guys, because I used to watch it when I was a kid. I haven't really watched anything in the 2000s and on.
Yeah, a lot of it is about like '80s wrestlers and like this guy disappearing or this guy, this guy looked like he had a great life, and then you see behind the scenes, you're like, geez, this guy was falling apart right before your eyes, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So excellent series. Besides that, that's about it for shows. But I've been checking out a few movies. Not too many. Can't go buy any new movies, that's for sure.
Oh.
That's the last of the shit I said. Sorry, last of the shit.
We'll see.
but yeah, I did rent that Mortal Kombat. So
hell yeah!
It feels like old news at this point, but we got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. You seen it? I assume.
Yeah, I saw it on the IMAX at a local theater. Me and a friend of mine went and saw it, and he's not somebody who likes very many of the movies that I enjoy. But even when it was over, he looked at me. He's like, "That was a lot of fun."
You got to go to a venue, where they played a film.
Yeah.
Damn, you lucky.
Yeah.
But
I as a Mortal Kombat super fan, I will say I still think I like the original more. I don't know if it's nostalgia or what, but I did really enjoy the new Mortal Kombat. I mean, it does have its issues. I wish they developed the villains a little bit more and the world. I wish they'd never at the beginning. I wish they didn't tell you like they do the whole thing with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they set that up great.
Yeah,
that whole prologue is awesome. And then you get that little text screen where it's like, oh, by the way, the Mortal Kombat tournament, one more and we lose, and the Outworld takes over. It's like, what? What does that have to do with what we just saw?
Damn, we need some prequels to find out what happened to the other ones.
Out of like 10, this is a prequel to the show, to the actual tournament.
We've lost 9 out of 10. Like, where were them at?
Well, how about you introduce these concepts before you tell us these kind of things, like they did in the original movie, where it's like you learned as Liu Kang learned, and Johnny Cage and Sonya learned. At least they got that part of it. Right here, it's just kind of like we're just gonna throw it all at you at once.
Yeah, you feel like you're in the middle of the story. I mean, kudos to them for not just doing like a cookie cutter, like what you expect story. Like,
yeah, they could have just remade the first movie. That's all they. That's what honestly what I thought it was going to be. I was just going to be. That's going to be an R-rated version of the original movie.
Yeah, that's what our friend Church was thinking too. And he was
Yeah.
like, remember he was all like,
Yeah.
kind of don't want to just watch the tournament again. And then so like when we did our latest
Spoiler
episode,
alert, there is no tournament.
yeah,
You don't even get it. They're not even at the point where it's even like where they didn't even tell you where it's going to be. It's still in the future. It's going to happen for a while.
yeah. Well, it was supposed to. They were gathering forces.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'll say right out of the gate, I enjoyed it too, and it is definitely not without its issues. Some concepts were totally hit in one scene and miss in another, like the basic. I want to call them Mortal Kombat midichlorians, which was like the
Arcana.
Yeah, the Arcana. It seemed kind of like, oh, that's an idea. Like now you know why these people were chosen.
Well, I mean, I was wondering if they were going to
same-
have them do their special moves. There has to be an excuse for because you can tell they were trying to keep it at some sort of realism this time around.
Yeah.
So there had to be a reason why they can do these special moves and shoot fire and laser beams from their hands and shit.
Yeah.
So that kind of made sense.
I like you believe the Shaolin monks thing with like a small suspension of disbelief, but like everyone else, you're gonna be like, so this random Australian man has a laser eye, especially when he doesn't have the cyborg implant.
But they set that up in the movie.
Yeah, which is good. Like they, this movie is super polarizing. Every post I see about it, someone saying, "Oh man, just saw it, so awesome." At least 75% of the comments are, "I don't know what movie you watched. I thought it was fucking trash."
Yeah.
Like it's nowhere in between. Like I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was really kick ass, and then other people are like, garbage. None of it was good. First 5 minutes were the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, geez, man. Like I said before, even if a movie is actually bad, I don't think this one's bad. I really enjoyed it. Even if a movie is bad, I can compartmentalize parts that were really good and be like, I enjoyed that. And overall, just be like, I kind of enjoyed it. Like I can kind of do that. But this movie, there wasn't really that much. Like when I do see people actually articulate their complaints, because I watched it 3 times, and when I rented it, it was like a 48-hour rental, and I watched it twice that night. Then I saw everyone else's like bitching and complaining, and the characters are all wooden, and Kano carried the whole movie, and I'm like, not really, but okay.
No.
And then when someone would actually say their complaints, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I want to watch it again tonight at work, and I'm going to take these into account and think about them while I'm watching the movie. And like most of them just fell apart. And like when they're like, "Oh, why didn't they do this?" And like, it says, pay attention. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Kano did kind of carry the middle of the movie for me.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Because that was like exposition central.
Yeah, but I mean,
like that was another thing. A friend of mine who I thought would have absolutely loved the movie, he said it was unwatchable. He had to turn it off halfway through, mostly because he said he thought Kano was freaking terrible in it.
Yeah,
he's like, the actor's terrible, the character's terrible. I was like, I was cracking up with the shit that came out of that guy's mouth. Like
some people
when he's teasing Sonya and he's just kind of like, yeah, I got my mark. I'm going to the tournament. Where's your mark, Sonya? She's like, I got one. You hear him in the background go, womp, womp.
Yeah. Yeah, he was enjoyable. And, some people are complaining about the characters that they had in there, who they left out. I'm like, you realize there's going to be more than one, right?
Well, yeah.
They don't want to blow the whole character load. That'd be like if the first Mortal Kombat had like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 amount of characters.
Yeah,
like, where do we even go
you
from
saw
here?
what happened when they tried to do that in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah. Like,
you get Sindel getting crushed by a cage instead of actually having a fight scene, which is kind of what happened in Natara.
Yeah.
but
she
got it Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, exactly. The characters
were true to their character, what we were known.
There was characters that were definitely, as soon as they were introduced, you're like, they're just here for a fatality.
Yeah.
It's because they don't want to kill off some mains. And that's what I took them for. Like, oh yeah, I barely remember that guy. Why is he in here? Then I'm like, I know why he's in here.
But
he's not making it out of this movie.
They're obviously going to come back because of what happened at the end of the movie.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean,
A lot of people, what most people agree on as a complaint is Cole. I don't know anyone who's like, man, Cole was awesome.
No, I didn't think he was awesome.
What a great introduction.
Yeah.
You know,
I get why
what he
he's
was-
there.
The way he was utilized was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of fell flat
Yeah.
from what I was expecting.
See, I don't know if I talked about it in a previous episode where when we're talking about it a couple times, but I was under the impression that at the end of the movie he was going to be like, "Fuck y'all, I'm going to Hollywood," and he was going to be like, "I'm changing my name to Johnny Cage."
Yeah, you did mention that. Like, I think it was
I was wrong.
I think it was about 2 episodes ago, maybe,
Yeah.
that you were talking about it.
I was wrong. But I understand why he was there, because they didn't want the movie to focus on Liu Kang like in the original movie, to change it up.
Yeah.
So you needed an in, and they needed to create this character to be your in into the whole world.
like a blank slate. And
Yeah, like he's our avatar into that world.
And what I was expecting and what I probably would have enjoyed more is I thought he was just there to manifest Scorpion's return. Like he was going to get cut or something, and it was going to fall on that blade, and it would be like the way that's how Scorpion finally escapes from hell, or whatever, because it's his bloodline and whatever. And that's what bugged me the most. Like I was neither here nor there on him throughout the.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why he's got a mark besides like his great grandpa. I don't know why he's in, because he can't fight for shit. The whole movie, he's just getting his ass beat.
Well, that was what I thought was kind of. I mean, at least the one thing that I found interesting about his character was that even at the very beginning of that fight that he has in the ring, the guy's like, "Oh, you need to do something other than just take the hits."
Yeah.
He's like, "You're just a punching bag." He's like, "People just beat the shit out of you and you take it." And then even his daughter's like, "Give him the uppercut."
Yeah.
But then, like, when he manifests his Arcana, what is it? He's there to absorb the hits.
Yeah.
Because he gets like a suit of armor as his Arcana. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, like that's one thing I was like, okay, he's not even. You can't even be like, this is a kick-ass new character, and I respect him, because you're like, it's like watching a Mick Foley wrestling match. You're like, he's not there for his fighting ability. He's there because he can just take a good hit.
Yeah, he can take
like you watch a Mick Foley like sizzle reel, and it's all like, look at the shit someone threw him off of. Holy shit! Look at
he dove off that cage.
Oh, look, he got slammed on something. It's not like, wow, look at that crazy power bomb he did. It's always like that guy can get the shit beat out of him and get back up. And that's what I felt like. This guy's the Mick Foley of Mortal Kombat characters.
Although I will say, he fucking took out Goro in a great way.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, man, Goro is a bitch in these movies. For how much of a like legend he is in both movies, he just
don't forget, he's going to come back in the next one.
And I've seen a lot of people say, well, not a lot, a couple of people I've seen say like, oh, he looked better than the old one. I'm like, no. Like, so, I don't know. I think some people just, their nostalgia won't let them enjoy another one.
Yeah. Well, trust me, like I've always said that I'm like super critical of things that I'm a big fanboy of. Like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Like, I absolutely love Star Trek. It's my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. I can freely admit when something sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I will say Star Trek 5 is terrible.
Yeah, like if I like something, I'm not going to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to do mental gymnastics to be like, oh, it was actually good. No, it was.
And then look what happens when I try to force myself to like something. It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where I'm sitting there trying to convince myself that I like it, and I realize I fucking hate its guts.
Yeah, we couldn't even pretend to trick Jeremiah into thinking that we both loved it, because you already freely told him several times that you don't like it. But but you've seen it a lot.
If I thought something was terrible in the new one, I would have said I thought it was terrible. And there was stuff in there that was pretty bad.
Yeah, like some stuff.
I mean, like Shang Tsung, just like not even near the charisma level that they had in the original movie.
Exactly, like there was. I don't know. He felt like their manager. He didn't feel like.
But they never even set up Shao Kahn. I mean, they at the beginning of the original one, they tell you about Shao Kahn and that Shang Tsung works for him.
Yeah.
And that he's trying to appease him all the time, and Kitana's his daughter, and they set up all that stuff. And here he's just kind of like, there's an outworld, and they're going to take over our world. Oh, look, there's Shang Tsung.
Yeah,
who's this guy?
yeah. As far as world building, they didn't do the best job.
I feel like they must have cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, it really felt like it seems to be more okay to do a 3-hour movie. And I think
I would honestly, if it's good, I'll sit there and watch a 4-hour Mortal Kombat movie if it's good.
Well, I know you would. You'd watch a 16-hour Mortal Kombat.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was good. But as would I. But yeah, it really seemed like it needed to be longer. Like they were trying to get as much as they could in here without bloating it. And to an extent, I think they did pretty good. But yeah, like it needed to be at least like another half hour longer, I think.
Yeah. I think they just need to develop the villains as well as they develop the heroes. Because, I mean, they developed Liu Kang pretty well.
Yeah,
they developed Cole. They developed Sonya and Jax and all of them. Even Kano.
And I find that even though they didn't do the tournament, they found a good excuse to have the one-on-one fights where Raiden like sent them all
so
off.
So basically as assassins.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. At the same time, like I said, the Arcana thing, like I was like, oh, it's pretty cool when I have, Jax's was kind of like, what?
It's funny because it reminded me of the whole thing from Annihilation.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you got to have that confidence in yourself and your own abilities. You don't need these metal arms. So he like rips them off. He's like, yeah. And in this one, he's just like, oh yeah, my arms are my strength. Oh.
Yeah. Suddenly.
My arms, my dinky little arms are strong enough. Okay, you got self-confidence. Boom, boom, boom. There they go.
Yeah, that made me roll my eyes. And the only other part of the Arcana that really bugged me was that was the only way like you could earn your powers and stuff. Like, I don't know, how many are they allowed? 5 each or something?
Yeah.
Something like
that.
I
mean, like when Cole got his, I thought it was interesting that like he was protecting his family was what brought his out.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That made sense.
And the fact that Sonya got hers, that's the one I think that bugged me more than Jax, is that she got it and immediately knew what it was. Like you didn't see her use like, oh holy shit! It was just kind of
like, she comes hole in Melina.
she flips out of a portal, side flips, and then just pro at it immediately. So I was like, and it also ruined that other fight. But speaking of ruining fights, and coming back to why Cole sucks, once Scorpion was there, I don't care if his family's frozen to the wall. He needs to get the fuck out of there, and that's what everyone wanted to see. Right? Like, get out of there. We wanted to see a fair fight. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a bastard. But, it's not Tekken Tag Tournament. It's Mortal Kombat, bitch. So,
yeah.
That part kind of bugged me.
I hope they have something better for him to do in the sequel, now that he's already got his shit together.
Well, that's the thing, is if it's following lore in any way, I'm not saying it has to be, I'm not one of those people that has to be exactly like established lore, but Bihan was dead after Mortal Kombat 1. So
that means he's going to become Noob Saibot.
So yeah, so Mortal Kombat 2 forward, it's been his younger brother. So it's been a different stuff. Like, not a lot of people know that. But so I'm like, so Noob Saibot in the second one, because like they're already talking about that he signed on for 3 more movies either way.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Noob Saibot and probably a Sub-Zero prequel movie or some sort. They'll probably do something like that.
Yeah, him in the Shirai Ryu, or not the Shirai Ryu, the Lin Kuei.
Lin Kuei, yeah. So,
I mean, if they are going to stick to lore, then he's not going to be Sub-Zero anymore. He's going to become Noob Saibot, and they're going to have to cast someone else to play the other Sub-Zero. Unless he does a dual role, which would be kind of cool, because I will say one thing, though. That movie was cast very well.
Yeah.
I loved everybody.
Yeah, they all played their character pretty well, which is what I didn't get when people were like, wooden performances. I was like, well,
it's Mortal Kombat.
That guy's not really Captain Charisma. He's pretty soft-spoken, like especially the 2 of them are Shaolin monks, so you're lucky they're talking at all.
Yeah. I really like the guy that they cast as Kung Lao. I really like him.
Yeah,
he was awesome. He had fucking mouth on him.
I think he got shit end of the stick though, as far as characters in the movie besides Goro.
Yeah,
shit end of the stick, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Well, I think they did that. They made him so cool so that when he dies, you're like, oh shit.
Felt it, yeah. So overall, I liked it.
I really liked it. That makes me want to see a sequel.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to if they build upon it. You know, you're gonna see. Honestly, I didn't miss Johnny Cage not being in this. I'm not a big Johnny Cage fan.
I hope they don't cast that guy that's been
annoyed of him.
lobbying for it though. There's like some wrestler that wants to. That's like dying. He wants to play
The Miz.
Yeah. Like no.
Yeah, no.
It's got to be. This has to be perfect casting. If they're building up to something with it, they has to be perfect casting.
And then another one is Ryan Reynolds. Everyone's saying Ryan Reynolds should play. I was like, Ryan Reynolds doesn't need to play everything and everything. You know? So
no.
Just because Johnny Cage is cocky,
sassy,
he's cocky. Like there's other guys can be cocky. Like he's not our only cocky dude. So anyway, yeah. Overall, liked it. I want to see more. There's room for improvement, but
yeah,
it wasn't annihilation.
I think it was a successful reboot. So I'm happy.
Especially like the Sub-Zero stuff was just the coolest. Like you really felt him as a villain, and I felt like he was the main villain of the movie. Like right from the off start. Like
I think that might have been what my problem was I was expecting Shang Tsung to be the villain this time, and then it ended up being Sub-Zero the whole time.
Yeah,
which is why which I'm sitting there going, I was expecting Shang Tsung to get all this development like they did in the original movie, and it's like no, it just got shifted over to Sub-Zero, and I don't think I was expecting that or was ready for that. But the more I think about it, the more I liked it.
Like I wasn't expecting anything out of Cole, so the fact that he was kind of meh didn't, I wasn't disappointed in him because I wasn't expecting. But as far as established characters, Shang Tsung was the most disappointing. Like he didn't have really very much development at all. Like they didn't even touch on that he can like copy their powers and their looks. The
only thing he does is a soul suck fatality.
Sucked one soul and chirped the good guys a couple times. You're like, all right, he was more the right hand man.
Although Cabal was pretty cool though.
Yeah, he was for that little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm generally not a fan of Cabal or even the way he looks, but I think he looked really cool in the movie too.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's like, I want to go fuck Kano up. He's the one that maybe wear this iron lung thing.
Yeah. Like I don't know why, but like a lot of the time the show is like hair, and I don't know why I don't like seeing his hair. I liked that he had
the weird dread ponytails.
Yeah, like,
the dread pigtails.
Weird hair. He's got some kind of weird hair going, or even just like a slicked back. Like it doesn't seem like he has to wear that mask. Basically, like I don't know. So yeah, that was like an improved character at least, in my eyes anyway. So it was pretty sweet.
It was cool seeing all the special moves and the fatalities and everything, and it was very rated R. Yeah,
which is good. I'm glad that Hollywood is starting to like realize like some things got to be rated R. Yeah, you want more, broader audience, but you're not always going to get it with that kind of shit. Like,
well, the people that are fans of it, there's kids that are fans of it, but their parents are probably fans of it from back in the day, so they'll probably take their kid to see it anyway. So you got all that money.
Exactly. So it's just like, just do it right, and then more people will want to see it.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a Terminator movie, but it's rated PG. What? Something like that. Like, makes no goddamn sense. So yeah, moving on from that, some cool looking movies coming out.
I saw some other stuff though.
What other stuff? I forgot we didn't talk about all the movies yet.
Yeah. I last week I went and saw Spiral. The new Saw movie. That sucked.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. I didn't even realize there was one coming out until I heard that it sucked. So
yeah, a friend of mine and I want to say ever since part 5 have gone to see every one of them. I've seen every one of them in the theater. It's been like a ritual of mine. But ever since part 5, a friend and I have gone to see every one of them. And when I haven't talked to him in basically a year since like COVID started. So the first time I've actually like spoken to him, I was like, "Hey, you want to go see that new Saw movie on Friday?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, we're going." I'm like, "All right."
My bag's already packed.
When it was over, I looked at him and I just he was like, when it was over, he's like, and I went,
"Aw,
no."
But that's our thing.
And he's like, he's like, "Oh, I love all the Saw movies." He's like, "You could throw the shittiest one at me, and I probably still like it." And I was like, "Yeah, but this one felt like a parody of all the Saw movies."
That's rough.
I was like, Chris Rock. Don't get me wrong. I like Chris Rock as a comedian and all that. He's funny as hell and he's smart, but he should not be allowed. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You do not let Arnold Schwarzenegger cry in a movie. In this, you do not let Chris Rock act serious in a movie because he does not look. It's awkward.
Yeah,
it's like him trying to come off all hard and shit. It was like he was trying to be like the serious version of his character from Lethal Weapon 4.
Weird.
And it just does not work. It sucks. He is so bad in it. It sucks.
Oh,
and like I was excited because I was like, oh shit, Sam fucking Jackson's in this movie too. He's in a fucking Saw movie. That's awesome. He's in it for like 5 minutes.
So it sounds like they spent all the movie on the cat. All the money
I think they spent the
and...
whole money on getting Sam Jackson in the movie because the movie looks cheap. It sounds cheap. Like the cinematography and editing is like horrible in it.
Oh.
Like whenever they try to do like a flash, because Chris Rock is like in his 50s now.
Yeah.
And whenever they try to make him look young, they just slap a different facial like hair on him in somewhere. Like he already has like this little like chin band thing going on. Like Captain Algebra used to have.
Yeah.
Like that's what he wears most of the time. But when they're trying to make him look like he's in his 20s, they stick a goatee on him and it looks like a fake glue-on goatee you get at a costume shop.
It's flapping around like
it looks so it's just so cheap and like rushed.
Like
even
on
the
SNL, it's like an SNL one where half the time the mustache is flapping.
It's like even the costumes. Like one time, Chris Rock looks like he's wearing a costume that's 3 sizes too big for him. It's like they went to the studio next door and just stole a costume off the rack, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's a 3XL." He's like, "Oh, whatever, the fuck it, I'll wear it."
We have 2 minutes, man.
Even the traps I thought were lame, and the twist. When this one character shows up in the beginning of the movie, I went like, "He did it." Man, I was right.
The easiest whodunit figure out.
And it's like the whole reasoning behind it is just everything about it was just bad. I was like, if this is your big plan to do like a soft reboot of it, you failed miserably. I thought it was just fucking awful.
That's a bummer. Have you ever played the Saw games?
I have them. I haven't played them yet.
I played the first one. I have both. I played the first one and it was like just the right length.
I heard they're pretty short.
It was an enjoyable like afternoon session.
Mm-hmm.
And just when it starts to be like, oh, more of the, oh, okay, that's the end. Okay, good. Like it was just like, oh, quick done. So I got to check out the second one of these days, but I'm hit and miss on them. I haven't watched nearly all of them, but I did buy a collection of it for like $10 for like whatever it was, 6 other movies, right?
There's
6 or 7.
7 numbered movies, and then there's Jigsaw, and then there's Spiral.
Okay, maybe it's got 8 movies in it. I think it had Jigsaw, so maybe it's got the 8 other movies.
Yeah, Jigsaw's like a side story, and this is like another side story.
Yeah, it was like $10 or $15, and I think I was like, I think it was 15 because I was like, yeah, it's like less than $2 a movie. So even if it sucks, it cost me like $1.75.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think my favorite one out of the whole series is part 6.
Weird,
because
I've got to catch up.
The only one that has something to say, where they're actually like making a commentary about like the way medical insurance works.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, they're actually to put some social commentary in these movies. It's like awesome.
Because I remember, I think the last one I watched, I don't know if it was 4, maybe even 5, but I was like,
5 almost killed the franchise for me.
Is that the one where you're like, they just had cool trap ideas and nothing else?
That's where the guy stabs himself in the throat in the beginning. And gives himself the tracheotomy.
Yeah, that may have been it. Where I was just like, they don't really even write a story for these. I think that's what I was just like. I think I'm out.
Yeah,
it's like they write like 3 minutes of actual story, and then everything else is just like survive these traps. Yeah, so I was just kind of like, I'm over these. They're just they're just doing like any other horror franchise where it's got even mild popularity. They're just going to pump them out until everyone hates them.
Yeah, it could. Honestly, I think it should have ended after 3 because the story's kind of done after that.
Yeah.
But they kept on going, and I didn't really like 4. I didn't like 5 at all.
It was either 4 or 5 was the last one I even bothered to try.
When the 6th one came out, I went and saw it, but I wasn't like excited about it. Okay. And then when I liked 6 so much, I was really excited for the last one, even though the last one was supposed to be 3 more movies.
Yeah.
So honestly, the final chapter is like what was supposed to be part 7, 8, and 9 all crammed together into one movie, and it feels like that.
Oh,
because it's so fucking disjointed and shit, and there's so much crap going on at one time. It's hard to keep track of it.
So it's like the Transformers last night of
Yeah, like there's 3 movies in one. It's like 3 movies crammed into 90 minutes. It's insane and it sucks. At least you get to watch Chester Bennington rip his own back off.
That's cool then. I've always hated him.
But yeah, I couldn't stand the 7th one. And then Jigsaw I liked, and this new one I couldn't stand it. I was like, if the franchise died here, I would not be sad about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I said, it was basically dead to me, and I played the games. So I was like, oh, the games are. It seemed like something. I was like, well, I'm over the movies, but the game probably be something to check out.
Yeah, I still got to play those. Yeah, and then last night I watched Army of the Dead.
I did not see it yet, but I forgot it was actually. I knew it was coming out, and then have forgotten about it since it's come out, and I haven't been using Netflix. So
yeah, I forgot that it came out yesterday, and I just log on to Netflix. I usually, if when I'm eating dinner or something, I'll put like an episode of Next Generation on to have on. And when I logged on, it said, #1 movie on Netflix right now, Army of the Dead. I was like, oh shit. I went, okay, I'll put it on.
Yeah, I just popped it on last night when we were going to watch Castlevania. I was like, oh, we should maybe watch that. But then my wife was crashing out after a couple episodes. I think we ate too much because we were just like, this show's good. And then we're just like, yeah, we were gonna go in the hot tub, and she lost her bathing suit. So she was looking for it for like, I don't know, it wasn't even long. It was like 10 minutes, and I crashed out, and then she woke me up, and I was like, I'm not even sleeping, and then I crashed out again, and I didn't even realize, and then I just kind of snapped awake, and I was like, the room was dark because she just turned up the light and gave up on me. And I went downstairs, and it had only been like 2 minutes. So I was like, I fell asleep the second time, but I wasn't asleep the first time. So we were in the hot tub, and that probably was the last straw. We were both just crashing out after that shit.
But it is a little long. It's like 2.5 hours long. But I thought it was really entertaining. And Zack Snyder does some really interesting stuff with zombie lore. Like good. new things that have never been done before.
What's good? Is it a good closing chapter for George Romero's story?
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Really?
Nothing to do with it.
Isn't that the one that is the last of the George Romero stories?
No, the last George Romero one was Survival of the Dead.
No, but I could swear Army of the Dead was the last one that he had planned out.
No, this has nothing to do with it.
Weird. There's something then. There's something coming out. And I thought that was it.
No, this is just, it just happens to have the same kind of title format. But it does. The characters are interesting, kind of cliched at times, do stupid stuff, yes, but it's kind of expected in a zombie movie.
Yeah, what is zombie movies without cliches?
Yeah, but to make up for it, like I said, he does some really interesting things with zombie lore and like new things that haven't been done before that I thought was really interesting. And I think they could possibly go the sequel route if they really want to. But yeah, I like it a lot. Batista's really good in it.
Yeah.
He's the star of the movie, and he really stepped up to it. I think he's a really underrated actor. For a big guy like that, and he's real soft. He's not doing his Drax routine. He's real soft spoken in the movie, even though he's doing all this action stuff.
Yeah,
and he's just really good. He's he went the subtle route, which I thought was interesting.
That's good. So he didn't go for big.
Yeah, he's not I'm a big action hero thing. He doesn't do that. I mean, he has moments like that, but he's not acting like that. It's cool. It's weird knowing that Tig Notaro's in there to replace Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can't really tell. It doesn't look like CGI replacement. Awesome. She was digitally inserted into shots, but they matched the lighting and everything, so it's not awkward. And like I said, there's maybe 2 times where they blurred the background out, so you couldn't tell.
Okay.
But outside of that, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
I do intend to watch it very soon, maybe even tomorrow or something. But yeah, I'll have to do it. Like I said, limited time to watch it with my wife, and that's probably something we would watch together.
Oh yeah,
I'll ask her. It'll hasten if we watch it or not.
Yeah,
or if I can watch it.
I recommend it a lot.
Okay. Well, I'm all in on the zombie movies, and I could swear that it said something. It was the last something, but there is something of the Dead then that's coming out that's supposed to be the last thing that George Romero had like penned up. But
Yeah, this is when you when you watch the movie, you'll be like, yeah, this has nothing to do with it.
It's good. Honestly, I don't think I even watched the last one, the Diary.
Survival of the Dead was not good.
Survival or Diary. Diary of the Dead was before that, right?
Yeah, I saw sneak previews of both of them in the theater, and Romero was supposed to be at the Survival of the Dead one that I went to, but he was sick and he couldn't make it.
Oh, cheap.
And it turns out he was sick because he was kind of on the way out, which sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really like either of them. Diary of the Dead's just kind of it's a what's it called?
Found
footage type movie.
Yeah.
And then Survival of the Dead is about trying to get the zombies to eat something other than people.
Trying to get the zombies to go vegan?
Yeah, basically. And it's like, oh, look, there's a horse over there. Eat the horse. And sure enough, the zombies are like, horse meat. Nom, 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 nom.
But still people, though.
But it's also kind of played off. But that's the weird thing about Survival that is it's also played off as a comedy.
Oh, that is weird.
And I was like, this doesn't fit. I'm like, I don't get it.
I heard pretty much resounding bad stuff about it.
Yeah,
So
I didn't like it.
And I don't remember seeing either of them on like streaming that I could just check out. And it doesn't seem like something I want to spend money on, but maybe one of these days.
Last one of his movies I liked in that series is Land of the Dead.
Yeah, Land of the Dead was really good.
I loved it.
It's pretty sweet. But
anyway,
is that it for movies you've checked out?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, some cool new stuff. Kind of getting some trailers.
Yeah.
Lately. So, first up, Shang Chi. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty cool.
Funny thing is, as big of a Marvel fan as I am, I
don't know who he is.
I do know who he is, but I know next to nothing. Like he's not in anything I really read.
He's like to me, he's in the same situation this is the same situation that I was in when the first Blade movie came out.
Okay, where you didn't know.
I knew Blade. I knew Blade was a character.
Yeah.
I had never read anything with him in it. Don't know many of the lore.
Well, the funny thing to me is like I didn't know Blade was like really past Spider-Man the animated series. There's that part where Spider-Man's mutated and he turns into like that giant fucking spider, and he's with and it's around the same time with Morbius and all that stuff. Morbius is a vampire, Blade's a vampire hunter. So I only knew Blade from the animated series before the movie came out. I was like, really? That guy gets his own movie? And Spider-Man doesn't get a movie yet? Like, because this was,
yeah, this is before all that.
And honestly, thank God for Blade coming out.
Yeah, it opened the doors for everything.
There never would have been a Spider-Man movie.
We would have never gotten the X-Men movies if it wasn't for Blade.
It pulled Marvel from the brink of bankruptcy. So a lot more respect for Blade now. He's not just a Spider-Man character. He's his own thing.
Yeah.
But like going into it, that's what all I knew about him. And same with Shang-Chi. I got a couple comics where he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And they just kind of assume you know who he is. And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Right.
As much as I love comics, I stick to my mains, my ones I really like, stuff like that. So unless they're crossing over with the ones I like a lot, I'm not really going to find out about them. So, but this movie looks really good. Like just looks like a solid kung fu movie, and it's
the fighting, the action looks great. And I was telling you before we were recording that when I was watching Kim's Convenience, I watched the first episode of Kim's Convenience one night. And I was like, okay, I'll continue with the show after this. And I only watched the pilot, the first episode. Yeah. And then the next day, the Shang-Chi trailer dropped, and I'm watching. I'm like, I know that guy from something. Like, I can't really place it, but I know that guy. I've seen that guy in something, the guy that's playing Shang-Chi. And then that night, I went home and put on another episode of Kim's Convenience. I was like, oh, there's Shang-Chi. He plays the son on this show. I was like, God damn it. I just happened to conveniently watch Kim's Convenience right before the movie that actor's in comes out. I know the trailer drops.
Yeah, that's some good timing. Yeah, I've totally done that too, because some actors so drastically change, and then some are even just a subtle change. You're like, oh, he had glasses in the movie, that's why I didn't recognize him. Superman effect.
But yeah, the trailer looks really fun, and the humor looks good, and yeah, I mean, I hope it makes me a fan of the character.
Yeah, like it does really seem really cool. And it's just like Iron Fist. Iron Fist does a lot of stuff with Shang Chi, I believe, and I wasn't really too familiar with Iron Fist really either. And I haven't even checked out the Netflix show even.
The first season's not good.
I got, I liked Punisher and I liked Daredevil.
Mhm.
I love Daredevil and Punisher, but like I think Jessica Jones was like the one to come out after that, and I was like, I couldn't get through the second episode. I was just like, I'm not into it.
Oh, that ended up being my favorite one of them all.
And that's the thing. I keep hearing like good stuff about it. I'm like, it must just be a slow starter, and I keep on going. Oh yeah, I'll go back and
It's so damn dark. You can't. It's hard to believe that Jessica Jones is Marvel because it's so freaking dark.
Yeah, and like I knew about her a bit more than like the other characters besides obviously Daredevil and Punisher,
Mhm.
but I knew about her more than Luke Cage was part of the New Avengers, and that's the only reason I knew anything past him being known as Power Man back in the day. But
Yeah.
I still intend to watch them. I just kind of keep forgetting because Netflix isn't really advertising them anymore. Like they're still on there, I assume.
Yeah, they have the license to use to have those shows because they obviously Netflix made them.
Yeah, but
They're not being considered canon anymore. Even though, from what it sounds like, the guy that plays Daredevil in those shows is going to make an appearance in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, so he was hoping.
But they're not considered canon. But yeah, I need to go. I think the last thing I watched was the second season of Jessica Jones. And I started to watch the second season of Luke Cage, and I just kind of like lost interest in it, and I haven't watched anything after that.
Because
I haven't seen the third season of Daredevil. I haven't seen the second season of Punisher. I haven't seen the third season of Jessica Jones. I haven't seen the second season of Iron Fist.
Yeah, like I didn't check out Luke Cage or Iron Fist at all, and I was like, but I like wanted to jump into the event Defenders, and I was like, well, I can't do that.
You kind of have to watch all of those.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, now it's a huge task rather than if I was keeping up. So I should have just been keeping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I wasn't feeling the first two episodes of Jessica Jones, and I just kind of dropped in. I was like, oh, I'll come back, and then I just never did.
I highly recommend it. It goes to a really good, really cool place.
Maybe I'll
It could just been your mindset you're in at the time. You're just not ready for it.
I'll buckle down and maybe I'll make it like my garage show, because in the garage I usually just throw on YouTube or something when I'm doing stuff, or maybe I'll throw on those shows and kind of while I'm working on stuff I can catch up on those slowly. So, yeah, because I really like how they were doing it. Like the Daredevil, I went from like barely caring about the character to being like, this guy is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because I was neither here nor there on him to begin with. I was like, Ben Affleck sucks. The Ben Affleck movie sucks. Like, funny thing is, like, the Daredevil movie was good until like
Elektra showed up.
Until he grows up. Like, the whole intro was like, wow, this is really good. And then as soon as like it shows Ben Affleck, I'm like, I don't really hate Ben Affleck as an actor. I just
not good. He was not right for the part.
Yeah, I was just indifferent to him. Michael Clark Duncan was like,
he was awesome as Kingpin.
He's an amazing Kingpin.
Yeah, and I liked what's her name, Jennifer Garner as Elektra.
I just don't like Jennifer Garner at all. She could be perfect for a role, and I'd probably still just be like, I don't know why.
Well, at the time that came out, I was watching a lot of Alias, so I was kind of like on the Jennifer Garner bandwagon.
Okay, well,
so I was like, okay, it makes sense that they would cast her in this because of the shit she does on that show, because she does all this martial arts stuff. Yeah. So it makes sense, and I was like, okay, that was perfect casting if you're going by what she does in Alias. But then when you see her playing off of Ben Affleck, I was just like,
right away that meet cute scene where they're in the park.
Oh, where they're in the playground.
I wanted to kill myself, not just walk out of the movie. I was like, I hate this so much.
I will give it credit though; the director's cut of it is a lot better.
Well, I own it because
I own it too.
I don't think it's a director's cut, but I think I got it because sometimes when a movie sucks, they'll like throw it in with another movie.
Yeah.
I think I got it with like a Fantastic Four movie, and it was like $5.
That's like me with Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, so you're like, It's like the only reason I've got the Predator on Blu-ray is because
I have a set.
I was like, well, I only have the first Predator on Blu-ray, so might as well just upgrade the whole set for like $30.
Yeah, I bought the 4K set, and it came with the Predator, and I was like,
yeah, well, it's the only way I gotta get.
which one's not going to get launched?
It feels, yeah, it's still in the plastic. You have it's one of those things where like I like Predator enough that I want. I own Alien Covenant, so I might as well own the Predator.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. They're like, just for completion's sake.
Yeah, why not? But talking about Shang-Chi, did we check out the timeline that the Marvel's released for all the other movies that are coming out in Phase 4?
Yeah, they're finally kind of put a date on everything.
Well, they are really, at least for the remainder of this year, really banking on this whole vaccine working out.
Yeah,
because there's going to be 4 movies released in the space of 6 months.
Well, to be fair, one of them's been ready for over a year. And like I saw a thing today that says it's in no way affecting the movie. Like they didn't add any. They haven't been working on anything still. Like it's been ready.
Yeah,
and just shelved. They're just haven't done anything with Black Widow.
This was supposed to be in May of 2020.
Yeah, it was supposed to lead the charge. It was supposed to be pre-WandaVision. WandaVision was supposed to be the 4th. I think it was the 4th show that was supposed to be coming out.
And there's a character that was supposed to be in that. Well, there's a character that is in Black Widow that was supposed to be introduced in Black Widow, and then when she shows up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're supposed to be like, oh, they're crossing over. But now it's the reverse.
Yeah, so
because Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character was supposed to be in Black Widow first, and then
Madam Hydra.
Yeah,
she's kind of an oddball out of nowhere character too.
But that's kind of cool that they're casting outside the box now.
Well,
honestly, they're running out of people to cast. That's why.
Well, that's what's so cool about having a universe rather than such a short-sighted plan. And you're like, oh, hopefully this one movie does good. Like superhero movies were before, like it almost makes them unwatchable. You're like come on, this is like Spider-Man's the only hero in this show. The Fantastic Four are the only superheroes in the whole world in this show. The X-Men are the only thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's like, oh man, anyone can pop in at any time, like anyone.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love so much about it. Like, and the more they flesh it out, the more room there is for other characters. Like not just like, okay, we need someone who's getting butts and seats. Because when you got the MCU, like everyone I'm automatically in.
I never thought the U.S. agent was going to show up in any of these things, and sure enough, he's there.
Right, and Madam Hydra, like with how big of a deal Hydra is, you'd think she's like a huge character. She's not a very big character. She had
like kind of like a manipulation in the background type of thing.
Yeah, she's a pretty small character in the grand scheme of things, but she had like a romance with Nick Fury back in the day and stuff that I remember and stuff like that. And she's been kind of, her name makes her sound like she like is the leader of, everything and putting everything like the grand master of all the plans. It's not really. So that's cool. I hope that we'll see what they do with her in the MCU. Yeah. It could be completely different. She could be the big cheese. Who sees?
Maybe she'll be one of the big bads in Phase 4.
Yeah, but it sounds like Kang is going to take over as the
in the Secret Wars.
Then the next big bad, like Thanos, basically replacement. So that's cool.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of Ultron resurgence because he's a bigger deal than they made him in the movie. Like he was big in that
movie he was in.
he was big in that movie, and that was about it. But he's a recurring Avengers villain.
So we got Black Widow in July this year, followed by Shang-Chi in September, followed by Immortals in November, and Spider-Man 3 in December.
Yeah, I can't wait for Spider-Man 3 for
4 freaking movies. Like they're just cramming them together.
The funny thing
and they swapped Immortals and Shang-Chi swapped places from the way it was supposed to be originally.
Yeah, and like I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be the second thing. I think it was supposed to be right after Black Widow. And then I believe it was Inhumans. The other one.
Eternals?
The Eternals were supposed to be...
Did I say Immortals? I might have said Immortals. It's Eternals.
Maybe. Yeah. But, there's... I mean, good on them if it still makes sense of the order they decided to put him out in. But if they would just have put Black Widow on Disney Plus and then the premium rental thing, like
They want that fuck you $1 billion. That's what they want.
yeah,
They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
all these movies cross the $1 billion mark nowadays. They want that $1 billion.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, let's see how it works out.
But starting off next year, we got Doctor Strange 2 in March, Thor Love and Thunder in May, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever in July, The Marvels in November of 2022.
Shit.
And then in 2023, you got Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania in February 2023, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 23, and then Fantastic Four doesn't really have a date yet, but it's supposed to come out at some point in 2023. So I'm assuming fall, maybe November-ish.
I'm just excited to see how they'll set it up. By the sounds of it,
I think they're going to be building up to it in other movies. Like they're going to have the characters pop up in other movies, and then they come together in Fantastic Four. Yeah, because the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to probably, a lot of people are speculating, is going to be how Fantastic Four or the event that sparks mutants being in the MCU. Yeah. It's going to have something to do with that, or that's going to start off with Spider-Man No Way Home, because that's going to be all about the multiverse too, with all the different versions of Spider-Man and all the different characters coming back.
So yeah, with them,
and then
between those two, well, that's what a lot of people are speculating. So I'm really hoping that the rumors are true. I'd like to see all three Spideys.
I just want to see a really good Fantastic Four movie.
Pizza time. Yeah. That last one was like a TV movie.
It is. I liked the first half of it, and then the last half of it just went to shit because that was all the reshoots.
Yeah, it was.
Because I thought it was interesting that they turned it into a body horror movie for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was.
And then it's like, and then a year later, and then everything went to shit after that.
And the first
once Dr. Doom was There Is No Victor, Only Doom, I was like, fuck this movie.
What are you, Zool now?
Yeah, I was like, fuck this movie. I even said it out loud. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't pay money for it. That's for sure.
Oh god, I saw it opening day.
I seen the other two in theaters.
Yeah, I saw them both too.
And I've watched the never released one that was supposed to come out in like '96.
That's better than the one that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was funny bad, but it was just like practical effects and stuff. So you respected it more at least.
It's Roger Corman, man. That movie was made for like not even $1 million.
Yeah, it was. I should check it out again one of these days. Actually,
it's on Netflix or it's on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Because I know I downloaded it like way back in the day when you could just torrent ridiculous amounts of things. And
some guy uploaded the whole thing to YouTube. It's for free.
Sweet. I was neither here nor there on the first one. It was okay. It was whatever. It was what
I hate Jessica Alba.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Chris
Evans was the best thing in the movie.
She was not well cast for that movie. Like,
no. And then they gave her the weird blue contact lenses in the sequel to make her look like an alien.
Like does she have cataracts or something?
And she was always opening her eyes real wide so you could see him too.
And the funny thing is, like, yeah, she was horrible. I think she was like the worst part of both those movies.
Yeah.
And then like I remember really liking Rise of the Silver Surfer until like the last 10 minutes.
When
he's the Doomsday device from fucking original Star Trek.
Galactus. When Galactus shows up, and he's the fucking V'ger cloud from Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I was calling him the Doomsday device from the original series, but yeah, same.
He's V'ger.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I was thinking like he's going to come out.
But the Silver Surfer was probably the best thing in that movie. I loved Silver Surfer in that movie.
Yeah, I like Silver Surfer as a character, but like,
he's like my second favorite comic character.
It just kind of sucks that he's tied to the Fantastic Four so much.
I was hoping that was going to spin off into his own movie, but that never happened. They were talking about it.
Yeah, there was talks about him having come in a Infinity War or Endgame at some point, but that came and went, and that didn't happen. But
I do want to see him get his own movie because I love that character. I think he's really interesting.
Yeah, he's got he's definitely what made that movie cool until
And then Jessica Alba starts doing this again.
Until well, it's just like every time Storm uses her powers in any of the X-Men movies, they got to do a close-up of her eyes turning away. We're like, we get it. That's how it works. And then I'm your sleep paralysis demon. Yeah.
Oh shit! Jokes.
So that was hopefully they can do better with it. Yeah, I'd like to give a shit about the Fantastic Four.
I mean, they are cool characters. They're
Yeah.
just not being represented very well. I mean, I give them credit for trying to do something different in the last one.
The funniest thing is, like, I have maybe like this many in my huge pile of comics. I've got about this many Fantastic Four comics, and the best one is where they have the new Fantastic Four that totally makes you go, "Yeah, why we don't need they don't need to come back." For some reason, they're like absent, and it's the Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and like Spider-Man, I think. And I'm like, there you go.
As the Fantastic Four?
The Fantastic Four, yeah. There's the new Fantastic Four, and that's like one of the only.
What about the Future Foundation?
It's like that's like the best. It's just like when they have the. There's also an Avengers where it's like the. What are they called? The Primal Avengers, and it's like Venom, Punisher, Conan, and I think Ghost Rider's in there too. And I'm like, fuck the Avengers. These are the Avengers now. Like throw the whole. I was like, no. When you get Conan mixed in with superheroes, I'm like, I just need more Conan. All you had to say was Conan, and I was like,
the lamentation of the women.
Conan.
The only Fantastic Four comics I ever read was Ultimate Fantastic Four when they were doing like the Ultimate thing.
Yeah,
where their powers were based off the elements. It's like wind, fire, and water.
Yeah, some of it was really cool, the Ultimate Universe, and some of it was kind of eh.
Yeah,
like they did alternates like
Ultimate Iron Man sucked.
Yeah, he was ugly as fuck.
I was like, I'm blue now. I'm alien weird, baby.
Yeah, you do blow now.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, the Spider-Man
Ultimate Avengers was pretty awesome though.
Yeah, like
they made fucking what's his name a wife beater, Giant Man.
Hank Pym.
Yeah, he was a fucking wife beater, smacking Wasp around and shit.
Yeah, it was pretty dark stuff.
What was it? Bruce Banner turns into a Hulk because Betty had a date with Freddie Prinze Jr. and he went and trashed the whole city because she was on a date with someone else.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the first graphic novel ended with a big battle with everybody against the Hulk because he was on a rampage trying to stop Betty from going on a date with Freddie Prinze Jr.
I remember there was one that took forever. I think it might have been canceled because they were like finishing off the Ultimate Universe. I'm pretty sure I got the graphic novel.
The Ultimates. It wasn't the Ultimate Avengers. It was the Ultimates. Yeah.
Okay, they're from the Fantastic Four brought them in. They were from like an alternate Earth or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but I got I don't know where it is. I could probably see it, but I'd be tripping over shit. But Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk, where the Hulk literally rips Wolverine in half and throws his top half like 20 miles away. So he has to like crawl back to his legs and heal back together like Deadpool.
He's walking on his hands. I can see him just walk, like hand planting his way all the way back.
Fuck it, I gotta grab it. So, spoiler alert, because it's right on the fucking cover.
Damon Lindelof, you pack you.
So yeah,
everything's got to be a mystery.
I think it was like a 3 or 4 part thing, and like it took forever for like the last part to come out. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't want to buy a series that might not ever end. And then it just came out way late. I think it took like 2 years to come out or some shit. Jesus. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part of the Ultimate Universe. So when that
was like that Kevin Smith Hawkeye thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
when I was buying comics. See, I bought comics in back in the day. Sweet. But I was gonna say you got a certain character right over your left shoulder there.
The Joker?
No, next to the Joker.
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, because they released that Snake Eyes teaser too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
What'd you think of that?
I thought it looked kind of cool.
I think as a movie and the action, it looks really cool, but I don't think I need to hear Snake Eyes talk or see his face at all.
Well, I know they're gonna. I know. Well, here's the thing.
I mean,
Okay,
they're
so
going to explain why he's
I-
a silent.
I know. My
But-
thing is, I don't really. GI Joe's never really been my thing. I
Yeah.
was always. My brother was the GI Joe fan, and he still is into like the military. I mean, he's making a new film right now. He's trying to make another film that's about the military again.
Okay.
So he's always the GI Joe guy. And I was always the Transformers guy because I've always liked the sci-fi. So
Yeah.
I didn't like either of the last two live-action GI Joe movies at
No.
all. I mean, the second one I thought was better than the first, but not by much.
Yes, I thought it was a lot better, but
Yeah.
the first
The
one
Rock,
was,
the Rock basically franchised Viagra.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, it was worth watching for that, and like Snake Eyes was fucking awesome in that movie. Him
yeah.
and Jinx doing all that cool shit. So, when I knew that they were making a Snake Eyes standalone movie, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll probably go see it just because.
Yeah, it's like a movie. I wouldn't say I'm hyped from the trailer. Like
No.
like I said, the action looks good. Everything looks exciting.
Oh yeah,
But I'm like,
it does look a lot like Shang Chi if you really think about it.
yeah, a lot more gun stuff. A lot more
Yeah.
like looks like the Yakuza
Well,
are involved and stuff.
Here's
like
the
that.
thing: I gave you that link to that trailer,
Mm.
but then I found a little behind the scenes thing about it where they're talking to the people that are making it, and they brought
Oh, yeah.
in Larry Hama, who wrote all the comic books back in the 80s.
Yeah, I watched it too. Yeah,
Yeah, and he is like working with them on the story. And I was like, oh, I remember those comic books actually being pretty awesome back in the day.
Mhm.
I'm kind of excited about this now.
I'm like I said, I'll
So-
watch it. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm not like dying for it. I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
they won.
Well, like we said when I picked up my one and only GI Joe,
Mhm.
I'm not a huge GI Joe guy. I don't not like it, but I don't have any
I like
nostalgia.
the animated movie.
I gotta say I have no nostalgia whatsoever for it, but
Yeah.
it's something that it's interesting when here and there, but it's not something I'm gonna go crazy for, which is good because the other GI Joes in this line seem to be like collectors tripping over each other to grab them all. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad it's not something else I'm having to figure out a way to get them to Canada or something like that, or be like, hey man, next time you're at Target, can you please look for Major Blood? I don't want to be that guy.
In Zartan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll be happy as long as they don't put lips on Snake Eyes' helmet.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were watching the first movie in the theater, me and my friends, and I kept on saying like all I see is fucking Snake Eyes' duck face. Because for some reason they thought it was a good idea to put these freaking lips on his mask. It made no sense.
Yeah, it was.
I don't get it. I was glad that they went with the classic style in the second movie and gave Cobra Commander his classic style mask too.
Yeah, they really fucked up that first one. I was surprised it even
God.
got a sequel and they
I
didn't
was-
just reboot it.
I was like 3 days ago. I was bored and I saw that it was streaming on Amazon. Or was it Netflix? No, I think it was Netflix. And I was buzzing through it. And I was like, I remember that scene where they're running through Paris was kind of cool with those suits on. And I started watching. I was like,
I remember
no,
thinking-
this is not cool.
I remember Cherish and I actually went and watched it in the theater,
Yeah, so did
and
I.
I think it was pretty close. I don't know what year did that come out.
2009, same year as Revenge of the Fallen.
Okay,
Same summer.
I was gonna say I think it was around the time that we got married, and we were just like, "What is this?" She's like,
Yeah.
"Is this?" She's like, "It looks more like a Halo movie."
Yeah,
'Cause the suits look like they were just trying to be Spartans.
yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, this
Like,
just looks like-
everything that I remember thinking was kind of cool when I saw it the first time. When I watched it the other day, I was just like, no, this is not.
No.
That's one of the reasons why Steven Summers isn't really working in Hollywood anymore.
Yeah, there's yeah, they were pretty rough. I should probably watch it as a joke one of these days too.
I do
Maybe-
on the second
maybe-
one though.
Maybe that's how I'll ease myself into finally watching that Catwoman movie. Remember, I put that evil on myself. Like, you know what? Sometime this year, I want to watch Catwoman because that's like one of the only superhero movies I've never actually.
It's worth watching it for the horribly bad CGI cat sitting on Halle Berry's chest going.
I'm going to. Yeah, it's going to be a drinking game or something.
God.
So I'll have the hospital on standby.
Every time someone calls her a pussy.
Yeah.
Which happens.
I'm sure it does.
And sure. Sharon Stone gets stone skin.
Yeah, I'm already over it because I've caught parts of it on TV and they're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I was so.
But,
I saw it for free in the theater and I was still kind of pissed.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna buy it or rent it.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna.
Only reason I saw it was because I got a free ticket when I bought like one of the season sets for Batman the Animated Series on DVD.
There you go.
It came with a ticket, and me and my friend both bought the same one, and we're both like, "Well, we got a free ticket to go see it. Let's just use it."
Why don't you not hold that against Batman the Animated Series? Don't let it sully the name.
No, I bought it again on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm still pissed off that I just finally got the 4th and final volume on DVD, and then they released it on Blu-ray like a month later, or at least announced it on Blu-ray like a month later. And I was like, yeah, of course they would. I mean, I got the first 3 volumes for like dirt cheap at Walmart, but then the 4th one was kind of like, I think almost the price I paid for all 3 of the other ones together.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I do need to complete the set. And then
that keeps happening to me with these 4Ks. Like with that, you're talking about Zombie in the last episode, that one that I have with the lenticular cover, and I was all happy that I found it on Blu-ray with that. And then I realized that the next day I find out that there's a 4K version of it out there.
Damn it. Just like when you
shit.
it's like you're just having luck with that, like you were having with your King Kong game.
Yeah,
we're like, yeah, I got it on Xbox. You're like, oh, there's a 360 version. Damn it!
Well, first I had the PS2 version. I'm like, I'd rather play this on the Xbox because at least I can play it in HD. And then I buy that, and then I realized there's a 360 version. I was like, fuck! I bought it 3 times.
Just loves that Peter Jackson's King Kong, the game. That guy.
The game's better than the movie.
Yeah, it is. Hey, speaking of a movie that's really good, why don't we highlight a movie?
Oh yeah, I think it's my turn.
Oh wait! We forgot another trailer that we must speak about.
Oh,
Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Oh yeah,
goddamn!
I totally flaked on that.
You didn't check it out yet?
No, I've seen it. I totally forgot that it got released.
Okay. I was like, and you were shaming me for not checking out the Snake Eyes for like 6 hours and after it came out. I was like, so yeah, looks like they're going for a bit more comedy in this one, at least from the beginning of the trailer. But
I just don't think they have enough special effects shots finished in order to properly show a full trailer.
Yeah, it looks great.
I was not a fan of the last one.
You didn't like the last one?
No, I did not.
The only thing I can complain about is
I like Venom. I like the way that Tom Hardy voiced Venom.
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy in general.
Yeah.
And Church has never seen it, so hopefully I bugged him into watching it enough when we did our episode the other night. But yeah, I really liked that. My only problem with him actually at all is just the zero tie to Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Because that's
you don't really have a choice.
You need that. You need that dynamic. Like that's what makes Venom so cool to me.
Yeah, he's like the anti-Spider-Man.
Yeah, because they skipped right over his villain arc. He's right to anti-hero. Like he's So he's already.
Although I do remember it being kind of funny when he's kind of like, on my planet, I'm kind of like a loser too.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked the movie. Like I said, like the only thing that bugged me is like I'd be 10 times more hyped at least if I knew this was tied to Spider-Man, because this would be basically.
Well, don't forget they tried that once before. It didn't quite work out.
This would be Maximum Carnage the movie though.
Yeah,
and that would be just the shit. I would love it.
Would Mobius show up in that too?
Morbius, yeah. The Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Oh,
look, Doppelganger.
Yeah, oh man. Hopefully he
Green Jello to the soundtrack.
and then when they're fighting Carnage, it's just I hope this is a throwaway reference to kind of like in Mortal Kombat where they're like, "Is it the only move you know?" Like when you're playing against someone, they're just being cheap.
That was funny in Mortal Kombat where they did the sweep joke.
Yeah, when you're being cheap. I hope someone does. Oh, they're fighting Carnage. I was like, man, this guy's cheap. Just as like, just like in the Maximum Carnage, he's cheap as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like the last one, but when they did the little tease at the end for Carnage, I was just kind of like, now that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, that's really my only problem with Venom. I've watched it several times and I really like it, but I'm just like, it's the fact that I like it so much that also bums me out. It's like, this would have been cool to tie to.
Yeah, maybe they will at some point. You never know.
Yeah. Now they're gonna do their own thing, bringing in just like
they're doing like all the weird Spider-Man villains are getting their own movies.
Yeah.
Like Morbius is getting his own movie, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think that's even tied to the MCU either. I think that's like a remnant of the Fox days.
It sounds like all the stuff they wanted to do when they were talking about doing that Sinister Six movie and all that. And I was like, oh, we'll just give them their own movies.
Yeah, they really tried to like shoehorn that in at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I didn't even watch that one. I hated the first one so much I never even bothered with the second one.
It's pretty well. If you don't plan on watching it, I can just. The best part of that movie
is her breaking her neck.
Yeah, and it sounds fucking horrible. I'm not a sick, vindictive bastard, but
at least they kept that part true, huh?
That part was poetic. Yeah, you're like, oh wow, that's not exactly how it happened, but it also felt shoehorned in there because Green Goblin's kind of.
Oh, by the way,
out of nowhere.
Hey guys,
he's introduced as Harry Osborn at the beginning of the movie, and he's already like Green Goblin at the end of it. So
yeah, hey guys, how's it going? I'm here. Where'd you come from? I don't know. The script put me in here for some reason. I don't know.
No, Spider-Man can do that. He's allowed. Yeah, because he's fucking Spider-Man. You know where Spider-Man came from.
Yeah,
that's what's so perfect about the MCU is that they're like.
They don't overdo it.
They you know how he's Spider-Man. Everyone knows. If you're watching this movie, you know how Spider-Man is Spider-Man.
You've seen his origin story twice already.
I'm like, no one's ever watched, just like Batman. No one's ever watched Batman. I'm like, I wonder why he's Batman. They're not. You don't need to wonder because they're going to remind you every time you see Batman.
Damn right.
Much as I love Batman, it's just one of those things you're like, yeah, get it.
He's got
the trauma. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. I will admit. I mean, I want to see more of what Carnage does. I hope it's just not the whole scenario from Venom where the bad guy just kind of like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm a symbiote too. Blah, 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 I'm dead.
Well, Carnage is Venom's offspring, so it's it's gonna be a gross birth scene. It's gonna be like the Gooblers off of Solar Opposites. When the guy gets stressed, instead of sweating, these little like nerd candy sized little things fly out of his head, and then they like run around, and they're called Gooblers. So anytime he's sweating, it looks like he's profusely sweating, but it's these little things, and then they run away. But maybe that's how it'll happen.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Andy Serkis is directing it too.
You go, Andy Serkis. He's probably doing 90% of the movie himself anyway. With all the CG. He's like, well, I'm Venom. I'm Carnage. Background security officer number 3. And
I'm Claw in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, looks really cool. Can't wait.
I'll see it.
Check it out. The kids are all in. For some reason, Saren, who I was like I didn't care that they were late to their e-learning that day because right in the morning I saw that it was up and I was like, I don't care. Wait a minute. And then we watched it. And he like didn't want to watch it. I don't know why. But then like later in the evening he was like, can I watch it? And I was like, yeah. I was wondering what's up with you, man. So
you had me worried there for a second.
Yeah, all the time he's drawing Venom and with Carnage is on him and stuff. And so I was just like, guess what? And he was just like, I think he was just tired in the morning. And I can relate to that as well. But anyway, now let's highlight a movie that's already out.
So I'm actually talking about a DVD today.
What?
This isn't available on Blu-ray, which is why I ended up purchasing it again. I used to have this back when it first came out. But I don't even know why I sold it. I think it was just because I was trying to get rid of all my DVDs because I was on the Blu-ray train. But I missed it. I wanted to watch it again because I used to watch it all the time. It's called Time Code.
Never Never
I saw
heard
this
of
in
it,
the
I don't think.
theater. It's like an art house movie. It's by Mike Figgis, who directed Leaving Las Vegas. But the cool thing about it is, like, if you notice on the cover here, you've got like this 4-way cross thing.
Oh, okay.
The movie is four movies being shown at the exact same time.
Oh, like the screen just looks like that the whole time?
Yes.
Oh. That's
So
cool.
the way it was shot was, it was all shot simultaneously, 4 different cameras following different characters around at the exact same time, and unbroken shot. It was never cut.
Cool.
No special effects or anything. And then they they stitch it all together in post. And it's about a film company. Stellan Skarsgård runs the company. He's married to what's her name? Saffron Burrows, who was in Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
They're getting a divorce because he's a cheater. He's banging Salma Hayek on the side, who was a part-time lesbian couple with Jean Triplehorn from Basic Instinct.
Huh?
So it's about their relationship. It's kind of soap opera-y, but you
Okay.
get to see everything happen from each person's point of view. Like, one camera follows around Saffron Burrows most of the time, one follows Stellan Skarsgård, one follows Jean Triplehorn, one follows Salma Hayek. So there's at one point you get to see one camera's filming Stellan Skarsgård banging Salma Hayek at work. There's another camera that's on Saffron Burrows while she's crying because her marriage is breaking up in a bathroom. Got another camera filming Salma Hayek banging Stellan Skarsgård from her point of view, and then you got another camera filming Jean Triplehorn, who has bugged Salma Hayek, and she's listening to her banging Stellan Skarsgård from a car outside the building they're in.
Weird.
And you get to see everybody like reacting to it, like different things. It's really interesting. It's, like I said, it's kind of soap opera-y at times, but it's really interesting because they'll like lower the volume and raise the volume of different parts of the screen to make you focus on one camera than the others.
Okay.
But sometimes I try to force myself to watch the other ones to see what's going on, and it's really interesting. It was a cool experimental kind of movie.
Cool. So it's like a GoPro Zoom meeting.
Yeah, it was done in like 90. I think they filmed it in '99, but it was done with like real cheap because they needed to be able to run around with these things for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So they needed like light cameras. So it's basically like a store-bought DV cam from like 1999. So the footage is kind of shitty. But like I said, it's just really interesting. And like I said, a friend of mine and I saw it in the theater. And when it was over, we're just kind of like, that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen anything like that, and I probably will never see it again. And then I found out this movie that was kind of like it that came out in the 60s.
Oh,
Called Wicked, where it's two movies going on at the same time.
that is a pretty cool idea, though. Like, you gotta love it when something comes up with a new concept.
Yeah, and it has a really good cast too. Like Holly Hunter's in it, Xander Berkeley from Candyman, Leslie Mann from This Is 40, and was it Knocked Up?
Cool.
It's, Danny Houston, who was the villain in 30 Days of Nights, in it. He plays a coked up security guard. It's really good. Like I said, I've said it a couple times. It's very soap opera-y. Like, it's very drama.
Cool.
You know, but it's interesting to see happen because of the way it's presented. It's really cool. So I'm sure it's streaming somewhere, but I got the DVD off of eBay for like $3. So it's like dirt cheap if you want to see it.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do a PSVR highlight now.
Woo!
I haven't done one of these in a bit, and this is a game I was hoping to play before we talked about it. It's also gonna blend into the pickups, but I grabbed this Carly and the Reaper Man, and it took forever to show up. I was actually really hoping to play it before.
Ooh, I see it's a perp game.
It is. Perp games won't like ship to us, but you can buy them off Amazon, and then I'm sure it's the company that sends them to you.
That's how I get their stuff. That's how I got the Doctor Who one and everything.
And as you can see from the back, it's kind of like you follow the skull is always watching you, and this and that. I believe that's our point of view. And it's kind of like Moss. You do different. You alter the terrain to solve puzzles. So Carly can get through the levels. As you can see, there's like a lot of like a weird dimension. It kind of reminds me of what's that movie? Coraline.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
Bogus
Coraline
Journey.
stuff. But yeah, there's like this, you're in this like weird dimension, and you got to help her solve the puzzle.
Sure, it's not Monkey Bone.
Because you're like one of those, you're like one of those giant, looking on as like a god kind of thing, and altering the landscape. So it looks amazing. I'm gonna touch on it. Hopefully in the next episode,
I'm gonna
try
try
to
to find a copy of that.
It was decently cheap. I have a bunch that are in my cart right now. Actually, the one you talked about last time, I don't remember if it was the highlight or if it was
What, Jupiter
this
Grad?
one in your pickups. Nope, not Jupiter Grad. The I don't remember what it was called now.
Was it one of those compilation ones?
No, it was one that's it was the second most expensive PSVR game I had in there anyway. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, I don't. Anyway,
Finally, I had this
it was
magical device that lets me look at things on the internet.
It was in the. It's still in my cart. I guess I could look. But yeah, I had it in there before you showed it off in your pickups, and I just kind of didn't.
Doom?
No, I don't remember Doom, man. Come on. Where's all my?
I have that form. I have the raw data.
Down
Jupiter Grad?
the rabbit hole. Down the rabbit
Oh, yeah, that was from a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, down the rabbit hole. It was either.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got that and a couple others. The other Walking Dead game is in there too.
Okay.
The
Onslaught.
Onslaught. Yeah, I've got that. That's the most expensive one. And down the rabbit hole's half the price of it. But yeah, next time I'm ordering some games and I want them faster than ones shipped within the country I live in, I'll order those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I still haven't even got to play Saints and Sinners because it's still stuck across. But yeah, maybe I'll get that one before it. And
I still got to play those.
yeah, I've got a.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, I've been playing my PS4 almost exclusively at work, so it's kind of always packed up lately. I unpack it when I got a couple days off, but yeah, pretty much just stays in my backpack for when I'm on overnights because I got get some decent playing in on that. I brought my arcade stick a couple nights and played with one of my coworkers, so I knocked out a bunch of arcade games there. So, like I said, I'm still playing games. I'm just not catching up on the tweets. Honestly, Turtles Month fucked it all up.
Got burned out on that shit.
Because every time I beat a game, I didn't add it into my app like I usually do. Like I got my list for the year, and I think that's what's kind of like the clog. So when I add everything and I can put it all on the list, I'll be able to tweet everything out. So it's
cool.
Yeah, I just gotta have some time where I got a few minutes to sit around and do something. So hopefully I got some days off coming up as long as I don't get called in a couple times again, like my last couple days off that I was supposed to get.
Yeah. Hey, that's overtime money.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been getting good hours. I'm not mad about hours, but it's just kind of when all you feel like you do
Cutting
is
into your free time.
When all you feel like you do is sleep or go to work. Yeah, it kind of gets old.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially when you can't go anywhere and do anything
or buy anything.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, let's get to some pickups.
Yeah. Oh.
Woo. Alrighty.
Want a titty fuck?
Maybe I got. Well, I could go with my first pickup.
It's late. I'm tired. I'm getting poopy. So
since you want to talk about something long.
Oh yeah, Long Duck Dong, the action figure.
My stilt man is significantly taller than last time you saw him. Because I bought 3 more of the hand ninjas to build the army a bit, and they all come with a Build-A-Figure part.
Hey, what the 5 finger state of the face?
Which happened to be the legs because they were smart with making a character whose legs extend, and the army building figure is the legs. Perfect planning.
Yeah.
So since I've already started, I'll quickly run through what other ones I got. Got me an Emma Frost.
Ooh. She's not wearing that white outfit from First Class.
Yeah, she's
Totally impractical.
There's a Hellfire Club box set with like 4 characters. I got to figure out how to get that. It's kind of hard to get a hold of. I think it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive thing. It's pretty pricey, especially since she's pretty much the only character I really want out of it, but it's her classic white outfit. But I got these random cheapo in a 2-pack just the other day. I got Taskmaster.
Ooh, we're about to see him in a movie.
Yeah, this is actually the Avengers game version, which I've been playing lately. So
ooh.
I grabbed him. He came in a 2-pack
We'll talk about that in a minute.
With Iron Man.
WWF champion.
Yeah, I put the belt on him. He didn't come with that, but it just seemed like something he needed. Yeah, I really like this suit. These aren't exactly Marvel Legends. They're the Gamerverse line, but they're to scale with Marvel Legends. They're just not as articulated. Like, you can't turn his hand, but you can turn his forearm kind of thing. But for what I'm doing with it, it's good enough. Like I said, I was real fan of the color scheme of this suit. It looks more like a War Machine, but I assure you, that's Tony in there. That's Tony. Keeping with the Marvel.
Is he a Juggalo too?
I got no. I got I've got a few of these already, but I don't go out of my way for them because I don't really care for the articulation of them. But they do come basically looking like a statue. I got the Marvel Select Magneto, and it comes with this cool destroyed Xavier Institute.
That's pretty cool.
With Colossus's arm sticking out there.
Him dead.
I was, you don't always get everything you just search for when you're on Amazon. They'll suggest other things, and I was looking up Marvel Legends, and I saw this, and it was really cheap for one of those figures. Usually they are in like the $40 Canadian range or more, and he was like $21 or something the day that I got him. So I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. I like me some Magneto, and it was pretty. Like I said, it's pretty cool. It looks like a statue on its own. So I had enough room on my Marvel Select shelf that I was like, all right, now I know what to put there. So that's it for Marvel stuff. Then I got, I was buying groceries, and I bought a non-essential item in Ontario. Shh, don't tell no one. But I looked over, and they had the Hot Wheels Batman the animated series,
yeah,
bat plane. So I was like, hey, I don't have a bat plane at all yet, so get in there. And
Batwing dough.
And they actually had a couple. It was it was a grocery store, but they actually had 2 of it. So I was able to buy one for me and then not feel deep guilt that I bought myself this and didn't get anything for the kids. So big thumbs up to myself. Pat on the back. And I got
Parenting.
this. I got this. I know you don't really care about G1, so I thought I'd buy something G2. G2 of the Transformers. Yay! Where Megatron's a tank, not a gun. And I'm absolutely in love with this. I have the original figure of it, pretending I don't see the dirty look. And it's 10 times cooler. It's smaller.
You think that this screen is frozen.
Yeah, I loved it. I've always liked the
That's
look
an inside joke, by the way, people.
Yeah. If you want to know what that's all about, watch the last collection stream.
Oh, yeah, my last collection stream?
Yeah, I was watching it. Come on, man. I thought it was pretty cool. Usually it shows up in, the traditional Transformers box, but I thought this was a shipping box. This is what it showed up in. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, Pretty neat. And I expected to open it up and it'd be like, oh, yeah, the box is going to be in here. But then it was just the plastic with him in it. And I was like, that's cool. It's got the, it kind of reminds me of like a loot box inside kind of thing. Like
That's weird.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. And I actually held on to it. I've been actually the packages for all my Transformers have been flattening them and keeping them for some reason anyway. And then I got the last Studio Series 86 figure that I needed. And that's Jazz. So he looks
Scamming Carruthers.
He looks pretty awesome. Happy to get him. I have Scourge, but he's trapped across with my other stuff. And
As everything else.
yeah, and just in
You'll
time.
probably get those before you get your Resident Evil 8 Collector's Edition.
Oh, probably. I so yeah, I've completed the collection of the 86 just in time for them to announce more. So they got Retgar from Junkion. They got Sharkticon. They've got
Quintesson?
No, not yet. Quintesson came out with the War for Cybertron series though, so I've actually got one of those already. We know that Broken Record story. It's trapped across in a big box of Transformers that I bought off a guy in one of my toy groups. I can't remember what the other ones were. Oh, Slug, the Dinobot, the Stegosaurus one.
Okay.
And instead of Wheelie, since Grimlock came with Wheelie, he comes with Daniel. So you got
that's cool.
Daniel in his little like suit, the little robot suit from the movie.
Transform.
So that's pretty cool.
Transform.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, now I get to hopefully snag all those when they come out. Yeah, I'm all in. I already need more Transformers shelves.
Hey, Jason.
There's
a hole in the shuttle.
What? And speaking of completing a set, finally completed the Batman Ninja Turtles. We're in the soft cover. Issue 3 finally came out, so I was able to get that, and I can. I've actually been holding out on reading them, so I can read all 3 of them with
let me know if it's anything like the animated movie.
Yeah, I think the first one is basically the story of that, but this one does look really, really cool. Love the art and the inside and everything. It's really gorgeous, so I can't wait to read those. I would have read them already if I wasn't going to be reading them to the kids, but they really liked the Transformers and Ghostbusters books, so I'm going to try reading these with them too.
IDW, bruh.
And I got some old school stuff. I don't get a lot of old school toys. Even when it comes to Transformers, I'm kind of good on the old school ones. I mean, the reissues, I'll grab a few, but I don't really go out of my way to get. I like the updated versions. Like I don't know. They got to figure it out in like the last 35 years. So. But I did get some old stuff. I've had some of this, but I've wanted it all since I was a kid. Because we know my favorite movie, Terminator. I got part of the Bioflesh Regenerator machine.
You got any of the slime?
I remember my friend got this when it was new for his birthday. You put a skinnier than usual endoskeleton in there. Close it up. It's got like a pumps this goo in there, and it looks kind of like skin. It easily breaks off. It's kind of like halfway in between plasticine and what do you call it? Cornstarch. And I'm happy to get this guy because I had this one since I was a little, but I let my boys play with it. And they promptly snapped the pig inside this arm, and I've not been able to figure out a good way to fix it. So I got not one, but 2 of him. So
yeah, play with this one, kids.
After months, I can be not mad at my sons anymore. Just kidding. Yeah, it was a whole lot I bought on eBay. I got it really cheap. I got this guy. As you can see, he's missing his whole.
In the front. We used to have that one when I was a kid.
Yeah, he pops out, pops off. Really cool. This one's probably my least favorite of the whole lot. This is apparently T1000.
Oh, why is he so bulky?
Does that in any way?
Oh, this is head flip down?
It looks like Arnold pretending to be the T1. Like, I can pretend I'm someone else too. Like, that's not even any way like how his outfit looked. It looks like more like something out of like the Police Academy animated series. But yeah, his head flips down and his ass pops up, and it's a rocket launcher.
That makes no sense.
Do you remember that part in the movie?
Oh no? Yeah, come on! It's in the special edition.
Because that's stupid.
It's so dumb.
We got the Harley.
It's a booty rocket.
With the Harley, it pops open. There's a rocket launcher in there.
I remember that part from the movie too.
Actually, my friend I was talking with that got the Bioflesh Regenerator. He got that for his birthday at the same time. We got a glow-in-the-dark irradiated endoskeleton. It's pretty cool.
That's
If
cool.
if I didn't tell you, you'd just think someone spray painted a faded, crappy-looking endoskeleton, but I think it's pretty cool. And then we got classic endoskeleton. I did have one of these.
Yeah.
My sister, I think, was playing like a hide and seek thing, and she put him in the top of a lampshade, so his foot melted to the fucking light bulb. So I haven't had a good one of those for a while. I had came out with a line called the Future War line, where there was like a bronze.
Oh
one,
yeah.
and I had one of those, and then the same leg just snapped off, like his foot snapped off, and I'm like, these guys just can't keep a left foot.
I want to say my brother had that copper bronze one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They also had like, there's a whole bunch of random like, oh, this wasn't in the movie, but we'll sell it to you. There's also this different take on Arnold. This might even be from the Future War line. His face pops off. I'm not sure exactly how to get his face to pop off, but there he goes. And he's got a rocket launcher in his chest. I don't know. Cool.
Wow, he's just like Sector.
So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. And then we got this one where he's got his Worf sash on there for some reason.
Hey, he's a proud Klingon.
He's got a. This is part
Holy
of the
shit! He's Kurt Russell from Soldier.
He's got the Future War line there, because I remember it was basically this one, but he was wearing like camo instead, and he had the same 3 different arms, and he had the barcode on his arm too. So that's from that. We got a T-1000. Oh shit! He exploded. I was about to show you that he exploded.
The one that splits in half. I think we had that one when I was a kid.
You remember him being a pain in the ass?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't play them without his ass exploding? Yeah, that's basically it. So I'll hold them together. Pretty cool. But then, explodes. They're trying to recreate the end of the movie, I guess. He's an asshole. This is probably my favorite one I didn't have already. And it's pretty cool looking one. You can see inside him. He's got the, camo pants and
It's
shit.
all about
on.
that battle damage, man.
Yeah, I love the battle damage when you can, it's like breakaway skin. Pretty cool. We also got a cameo here. Jack Slater from last
Baby Buggy Bubbles.
I actually have this figure. This one's kind of worse for wear than mine, but he had like a dynamite, I think you can put on there, and you flip the switch and he throws it. I'm going to have to dig out my last action heroes, because I know I've got the kid and I've got Benedict as well.
He's a famous comedian, Otto Braunschweiger.
But then I got, this is the last Terminator figure I got anyway. But I got, Bram! It's not my mother, Todd. So that's cool. I don't have I don't have any John Connor figures yet.
Easy money.
Yeah, that's how you get it. So that was a pretty cool lot. I actually got one more figure I forgot to snag, but it's right here. Give me a second. But randomly in the lot was a Metal Gear Solid figure, the Cyber Ninja. So that's pretty cool. I don't collect Metal Gear Solid. As cool as this figure is,
Don't forget, plug your controller and socket too.
Yeah, I figured that that's probably gonna go get added to Church's Metal Gear collection.
Ooh.
So that was a cool, randomly out of nowhere. It took a long time to get here eBay purchase.
Yeah, at least that's not stuck across the border.
Yeah, it came from the States, which is what took so long. So that was at least understandable. Weird thing is, like, when I order stuff on Amazon a lot, it'll ship from the US now, and I'm like, well, I didn't ask you to do that. Hopefully I don't have to pay duty. And besides Carly and the Reaper Man, the only other game that I've gotten in the last bit was Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. This game looks really cool.
Yep. I've played the actual tabletop RPG of that.
Yeah, so I'm interested in
That's part of
how it holds up.
World of Darkness.
Yeah, I was looking at kind of been following it since they announced it, and
Vampire the Masquerade's part of that.
yeah, I remember my friend was a big fan of, like, kind of branched out from D&D. He had Vampire Masquerade and the Werewolf one too. There's another one with it's tied to it too, I believe.
There's a bunch of them. There's World of Darkness is like the all-encompassing thing. And there's Werewolf the Apocalypse, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Vampire the Masquerade. There's the one about the fairies.
Okay.
There's the one about the Frankensteins. Can't remember what they called them, but you don't want to play, like, the group that I was in would never let you use that book, because if you have one in your party, it damages everybody. It does bad things to everybody in the group. Like, it curses people.
It just debuffs everyone.
Yeah, so it's bad. So it's like, if you want a challenging one, use that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the Fae. It's like the Fae, and then it has like a subtitle like the Apocalypse or something. Hey, I remember I was a vampire, so I was using Vampire the Masquerade. I was a vampire rock star.
Cool. I just basically picture the club scene from Matrix.
Yeah, pinching nipples and shit.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, I'm gonna buy that one too. But I'm gonna buy it for the PS5 when I finally get it.
Good call. Yeah, it went really cheap. I think it was like less than half price. Like I said, I've been kind of following it, and it was like I either caught it at the end or it was only just for the day, but it was like on for pretty cheap. So I was like, you know what, I'll snag it now, I guess, then, rather than later.
If I see it super cheap, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, it's been just kind of sitting in my cart, so I don't forget about it, because I tend to forget about games if I don't pick them up right away sometimes. So yeah. So that's it for my pickups. Besides something I didn't pick up that showed up, but I already showed you that.
Yeah. So I got some games since the last time we spoke.
You sure did.
Got some Game Boy Color stuff. I was on a license game kick last month.
You on a license game for life.
Yeah, I know. But I was actually looking for like Blade for the Game Boy Color, and Batman the Animated Series, and a couple of other ones, but they're and Little Nicky, which is really fun. They're really expensive. Like I was talking to you about how I was bidding on a Little Nicky that started off at like $9, and I waited until like there was 20 minutes left in the auction, and I put down like my maximum bid is 20, and it said you've already been outbid. And I was like, what was the most amount of money I'd be willing to pay for a complete in-box Little Nicky? And I put 40. I was like, $40. I put $40. You've been outbid. And I was like, I'm done. That's it. And then I walked away from it, and then my phone went off like 20 minutes later. And it's like, the auction is over. You missed out. So I clicked on it to see how much it went for, and it went for $174.
Nope.
And I was like, yeah, I dodged the bullet with that one.
It's a real obscure game, but like, yeah, I'm not paying that much. Yeah. I don't really like paying for obscurity. I've always been curious about that one though, because I'm like, how do you make a video game out of Little Nicky? I want to see what that's like. Right.
But I'm not $174 curious.
Yeah, I ain't a sucker.
But
curious.
The stuff that was not expensive was The Mask of Zorro.
Banderas.
Yeah, so I now own a video game that has Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Anthony Hopkins on the cover.
There you go. It's
like a side-scrolling platformer beat 'em up. And I also got the two Mummy games. I got the Mummy and Mummy Returns.
Nice.
They're both like side-scrolling platformers, but I think one of them has a little bit more of a beat-em-up aspect to it than the other one. The other one looks more exploratory.
Let me know when you beat the second one. I bet you when it shows Scorpion King at the end of that, the graphics will look better than the movie.
Probably.
Or on par, at least.
I've had better-looking shits.
Yeah.
I also found a complete in-box and actually sealed copy of Stargate on the Game Gear.
Well, there you go.
I managed to get a complete in-box Super Nintendo version of this. And then I forgot that there were handheld versions, and I was just like, I wonder what that's like. Is it just going to be a port of the console version? No, it's a puzzle game. It's like playing Weltris.
Weird.
It is the weirdest thing. It's like you have these quadrants. It's like Stargate addresses in this like chart. and you fight over them against a computer character, a computer player. And if you win in this like Weltress thing where you have to match up like 3 tiles with hieroglyphs on them, if you match up 3, you get the points and they disappear. If you end up winning that fight, you get that square in the star chart. And then at the end, when one of them has been taken, it tallies up who has the most, and then you end up beating the game, depending on that.
Yeah, that is totally...
How that has anything to do with fucking Stargate, I don't know.
That's exactly what I expect from a Stargate.
I know. That's the first thing that comes to mind is Tetris.
So mad when they made it an action platformer.
I know. It's what the fuck were they thinking?
It's all about the address.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, what the hell? I also picked up this from Limited Run. I didn't realize what it was until it showed up, and then I realized. So I got this Dead Tomb NES game. Turns out this is by Gamester 81's company, Collector Vision Games, and Limited Run published it for them.
Huh.
So I thought I was getting just some like lost NES game, and it turns out that this is like a brand new game for the console, and it looks like an old text adventure, like an old PC text adventure.
Huh. Could be all right.
I was like, brand new NES game from Limited Run. So I don't know why they put a claim on here. That's what made me weird. Like, that's why I looked it up. I was like, is this a fucking reprint? Like they're doing with those Game Boy games now with Limited Run.
I was gonna say they're really getting into that.
I was like, if this is a reprint, I'm gonna be pissed. And it turns out, no, this is actually a brand new game.
They just started the Wily Wars. They had, they did the Shang Chi.
I might buy that.
Game Boy Color.
I'll buy that. But they have like those 2 Game Boy Color games that I was like, no.
Well, it's better than those really, really overpriced repros, like the Street Fighter one that was like $80 or whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
And you might get a green one, and also this might light your Super Nintendo on fire. You're like,
yeah, no thanks.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm okay. I also picked up this game called "What Did I Do to Deserve This, My Lord 2" for the PSP. I went shopping with Captain Algebra in the beginning of April. We went game hunting through Chicago, and I saw this at this store called The Exchange by me. But I thought I told the woman I wanted it that was gathering the games up, because everything in these stores are behind glass cases.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, let me look at that. So I looked at the back, and I was like, I don't know about that. But I'm like, I'll take it. And I guess she thought I said, no, I don't want it. So she put it back, and I ended up having to go back a week later to get it.
Huh.
And it's like a weird puzzle game.
Odd.
But I don't know. I still haven't played it. My PSP, I need a new battery for my PSP. It's not working.
I mean, the first one should have been called that. And then the second one should have been called like, no, seriously. What the fuck did I do?
From what it sounds like, the first one is on here as an extra.
Oh, okay then. Well, that makes sense.
I don't even know what kind of game it is. I mean, it looks like a puzzle game, but whatever.
Yeah, just like there's a PS4 game, and it's based off an anime. I found out, but it caught my eye because it had a really weird name. Like something, it's called something like Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon or something? Something along those lines. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yeah, almost something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I'll try and find it, and I'll send you a picture of it. It was like, what the hell is this? I almost bought it out of sheer curiosity, but I didn't.
I got another one from Limited Run. I know you got it. The Terminator Resistance Enhanced on the PS5.
Well, I bought it, but
it's stuck over there.
I would have stuck the steel book would have been in here.
I had this for the Xbox One, but I figured I'll just get this enhanced version. Why not? I still haven't beat it, so I'm just going to get rid of my Xbox version and keep this instead.
Why not?
Still relatively new. I should be able to get a decent amount for it, hopefully.
Why not both? I bought the collector's edition, which might be why it's taken. Maybe took longer to produce all that shit.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, I think in the past year, this was the fastest turnaround I've had for a game.
Yeah, because that was only like what, 2 months?
A month and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when it showed up on my doorstep. I was like, okay.
Probably because it was like a partner release, not really a.
Yeah, they released it through or for.
No, I don't get.
I think.
I don't get to be mad about it yet because I didn't see Church get his copy yet, or anybody else for that matter. So hopefully the collector's editions come just as quickly.
Yeah, but everyone's on the PS3 train now.
Always was.
Yeah,
I mean,
because they're going to shut down the PS3 digital shop.
Yeah, they extended it for now, but we'll see.
Well, I ended up buying a brand new PS3.
Yay!
So the one I had a 30 gig hard drive.
Did you just buy a new one because of the hard drive, though?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can get like a laptop hard drive and put it in there.
I wanted a new one. This one is still the old fat one.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because it was starting to get super freaking loud, so I'm just getting rid of it. It's still, you can see it. It's still sitting right here.
Perfect.
But I bought the Slim, like the first redesign. I bought one of those, and it's a 360 gig, so I don't have to worry about running out of hard drive space now.
Perfect.
So I've been buying some new games because I've been playing my PS3 a lot now that I actually can play it and install things on it. So I picked up the Dungeons and Dragons collection on the PS3, which has the 2 arcade games on it, which is the Tower of Doom and the Shadow over Mystara.
Hell yeah.
And I have this for the Saturn also, but I can't play one of the 2 games because it requires that like 8 megabyte expansion pack.
Yeah,
but I also have a cartridge plugged in there already just so I can play the import games on it, so I can't swap them out. So I kind of can't play one of them. So this lets me play both.
Cool. I got it digitally, but that would be a cool collection to own.
But
just like I wanted to buy the Belt Action collection for the.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But I was like, yeah.
Last week when I went and saw Spiral, I went to a out of the way half price books, and they actually had a lot of good stuff because the one by me that I normally go to doesn't have anything right now. They're basically empty, but they had a lot of really cool stuff. I'll show most of this off in my new pickup video, but I found this R. Tonelico Koga.
Yeah.
What is it? Knell of R. Seal. I have never played an R. Tonelico game before.
I think I've got one for the PS2.
But this is like the limited edition or the collector's edition of it or something. And it was actually not too bad because I actually had a coupon for 15% anything I buy. So it was listed for 50, so I paid like just slightly more than 40.
That's cool.
But yeah, you get the game, you get a soundtrack, and it opens up.
Is it just in a paper sleeve? That's so lazy.
Yeah, you don't get that at all. And it comes with this really cool hardcover. Get out of there, bitch!
Never been out of the box.
Visual book.
So basically like an art book.
Like boobies. You like boobies? I'll show you some softcore boobies. But yeah, I was super thrilled because I've always wanted to try one of these games. I always see people talking about how expensive they are and shit. So to find one, I've never actually seen one in person either. So to find one at a half-price books of all places. They also had like one of these limited editions of one of those Atelier games or Atelier.
Okay, yeah.
They had one of them there too, but I was like, I'd rather have this. So grab that. And the last game is I don't know if it's a new game for the Dreamcast or it's one of those like unreleased games for the Dreamcast and someone found the ROM and put it on a disc. But there's this guy on Instagram that goes by Evil Jared.
Okay.
And Radical Reggie gets a lot of stuff from him, but he released this one called Dolphin Blue.
Okay, I've heard of that, yeah.
And it looks like some sort of a side-scrolling run and gun. I think.
Yeah.
So I wish I had a working Dreamcast so I could try this, but
it works. You just fucked it up.
I did.
You gotta find one of those monitors to switch it over to.
But I've also picked up some movies lately. I went to Target and found this Ghost in the Shell standalone complex complete set, Ghost in the Shell TV show.
Cool.
And I think I've seen maybe 2 episodes of this back in the day, and I never saw anything past it. But I like Ghost in the Shell because I love cyberpunk, and that's right up my alley.
Yeah, like I've seen random here and there of Ghost in the Shell, and I've enjoyed everything I've saw. You figured I'd get more expansive into it.
Oh yeah. And then I went to Half Price Books, and the only good thing that they had there that day, in the case of movies and video games, was this Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8 motion comic.
Weird. That's cool though.
And I actually have like the graphic novel, like it's like a hardbound graphic novel. It's like this thick of Season 8, and it's a daunting read, but I think this would be easier. And Church has always told me I should check out some of these visual, like motion comic versions of the comics sometimes, because they're really interesting. So
yeah,
I figured if there's one to get, it's Buffy, because I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
For a while, it seemed like a lot of games, especially more indie games, go the like motion comic way of like telling you. Because I'm like,
like the prequel, the stuff that happened before the game.
Yeah, animate a cutscene, man.
Yeah. I also picked up this 4K of Lupin the Third, the Castle of Cagliostro.
Okay.
Which is a Studio Ghibli film. And I've been trying to get Studio Ghibli movies in my collection lately, so I've picked up a bunch on Blu-ray. I picked up 4 of them on Blu-ray plus this. And Steven Spielberg considers this one of his favorite movies of all time.
So Lupin the Third is part of Ghibli?
Yeah, well, they did the movie.
Oh, I didn't know this.
All the other stuff is someone else, but they were the ones who animated this movie version of it.
Well, I gotta get that now because I've got pretty much everything else.
Yeah,
Ghibli's.
And they have that live action show on Netflix now too.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I saw this once back in the day, and I don't really remember much about it, but I remember I found it funny.
Yeah,
I don't think I realized it was supposed to be funny. I thought it was supposed to be like, at the time the only animated that I had seen was like Fist of the North Star and Akira and The Professional and The Guyver and Vampire Hunter D. So I thought everything was supposed to be like serious and bloody, and this is like a comedy.
Huh. Yeah, like I know it's one of those things where I kind of only heard about it semi recently, and I was kind of like, oh, well, it seems to have like quite a bit to it. And it's one of those things where like, where do I start though?
Yeah, I mean the movie, from what I understand, is standalone.
Well, I'm going to be getting that, so that's where I'm going to be starting. Yeah. If it's a Ghibli,
directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Yep.
Oh, well, that one slipped under my radar. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, there was like a box set that I was looking at of like Studio Ghibli films, but it didn't have any of the new stuff in it, the newer stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It didn't include this. So I was like, I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to spend $100 on that stupid thing. I'll just get them separately.
Yeah, it was basically like every movie up till about 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. Well, even more than that, because it didn't have Earthsea in it.
Oh, okay.
I think it stopped at like Spirited Away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only like, I don't know, I think like 4 of the things all together that I'm missing. I guess 5 now.
Yeah.
But
I still got to find a bunch of the other ones.
Yeah, there's one I didn't buy because my wife's like, don't buy it. I don't want to watch it again. That movie bummed me out so hard. But I was like, oh, I'm still going to get it for
Which was Grave of the Fireflies?
You bet.
Yep, that one's awesome. I love it. But yeah, that ending is so fucking sad.
And it's weird because, you know, the cover, it's just like them with all the fireflies around them.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's a heartfelt movie. No.
But
it's a snuff film.
if you actually take that and lighten the photo,
mm-hmm.
you see it's actually a bomber above them.
It's ashes.
It's like it's dropping bombs all over them.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I saw a video of someone lightened the photo or something, and I was like, oh. So I don't know if you just had to catch it in a different
depressing as fuck again.
Yeah, you're like, oh well.
But it's a great movie though. I love it.
It was really, really well done, but it was like, holy fuck, I am bummed. Let's watch a comedy now.
I also picked up this 5-film Die Hard pack.
Wow.
And the reason I bought this, I still have the other one over here. I'm getting rid of it. It had the first 4 movies on it because I bought that before A Good Day to Die Hard came out, which I could give a fuck about. But when Live Free or Die Hard came out in the theater, it was PG-13. And when it came out on home video, it was released on DVD and Blu-ray at the same time. The Blu-ray was the PG-13 version, but the DVD version was an unrated cut.
Okay.
Because when they were shooting the movie, they were making it R-rated. They were cursing. They didn't put blood squibs on people when people got shot. They were going to add it in digitally later. They just didn't do any of it. So that's how they got away with PG-13. But when they released this unrated cut, they put all the swearing back in because they either overdubbed the cursing, the PG-13 cut, or just cut the cuts out.
They just ADR'd it out?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And they just didn't put the CGI blood in. They put all the CGI blood back in, and they put all the swearing back in, but it never got released on Blu-ray ever until this.
Wow.
And this came out like 2 years ago. The only problem was I read on Amazon that when this got released at first, they forgot to put the unrated cut on here. So I was worried that I was going to buy a version that had the PG-13 cut and not the unrated cut. But I watched it when it first showed up, and I got the unrated cut, so I was real happy. And it's a way better version of the movie.
Getting the old stock even though you waited. Yeah, that was
good.
Well, that's good. Speaking of, were we just talking about that? When a movie that has no business being PG-13 or PG, like that's supposed to be a hard R movie. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm glad they finally got it out anyway.
Yeah, I was finally able to own it because I was not going to buy a DVD of it, and I've been holding on to that other version of it for the longest time and never watched because I love Live Free or Die Hard. I thought that one was a lot of fun.
Well, buying
a PG-13 version, I was just like, no, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
It's like buying one of those radio edited versions of a CD. Like,
I thought they're supposed to have the parental advisory sticker on the front. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's like it's a 2 Live Crew CD. Where's the parental advisory?
I remember I accidentally bought a CD. I think it only had one swear in it, and I never really noticed until I was listening to it in someone else's car, and they had the actual one, and I was like, "Oh." Then the rest of the CD was completely different, but there's just like one.
What CD?
I can't remember what it was. I think it was Static X. I think it was Wisconsin Death Trip, and I was like, there's like one swear on the whole CD, so like you don't really.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I just, I believe that's what it was. I think it was Static X. Yeah.
But I also picked up this giant box set of the first 8 seasons of Red Dwarf.
I think we talked about this last time, didn't we?
No, I just got this like right before my last pickup video.
Oh, okay. I thought. Oh, that's.
It showed up like 5 minutes before my last pickup video started.
Okay. I think you just mentioned to me that you got it when you got it.
Yeah. This is from the UK, and usually stuff from the UK is region locked. So I put off buying this for the longest time because I'm like, I need to get a region-free Blu-ray player or 4K player just so I can watch this because these have all been all 8 seasons have been remastered in HD. Sweet. And I love Red Dwarf, sci-fi sitcom from England. I think it's really funny and clever. And then I read online that the Blu-rays are region-free, so the episodes you can watch those if you don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. But there's DVDs in here that have all the extras on them, and those are region-locked. So I was like, I just want to watch the episodes because I haven't watched any of the actual first 8 seasons in probably 10 years because they haven't been available. So I've watched the first 2 seasons, and it looks, for something that was filmed on something that looks like videotape, they look pretty good in HD.
Well, that's good. I hate when someone releases something in HD and they didn't do a goddamn thing to touch it up at all.
It looks really good. I mean, they really put some work in to make sure that looked good. And then on the flip side of that, this is like the first 8 seasons on Blu-ray, and then they also released the newest season, which is season 13. But it's actually in the form of a movie. So it's Red Dwarf: The Promised Land, and I watched this last week, and it's not good. It doesn't seem to work in movie form.
So it's one thing that the format is what makes it work.
Yeah, because when season 9 came out, they released it as a mini-series. It was like 3 episodes, and then when I ended up seeing it, they had stitched it all together as a movie.
Oh.
And I didn't think it was all that funny. It just doesn't seem to work in like long form.
Just messes up the timing and
yeah, it's just like they're like 25-minute stories. They don't need to be stretched out to 90 minutes.
I guess so.
That's kind of the way it is. Yeah,
you didn't need to stretch out the payoff on that.
So when I heard that I thought this was a movie, and I'd find out later it was basically supposed to serve as the 13th season. And when I watched it, I was just like, it's just stretched out to breaking point, not really all that funny, and yeah, whatever. It was all right. Yeah. At least this was pretty cheap. The set wasn't, but the movie was pretty cheap, so there was that.
Well, yeah,
that's it.
That's good, though.
So, what you been playing?
haven't played a whole bunch of crap, to be honest. The last episode, I think I just finished Yakuza Kiwami,
Oh yeah.
I believe. I've since beat Yakuza Kiwami 2. I don't know, I'm thinking about halfway through Yakuza 3. I absolutely loved Kiwami 2. Just like I loved Kiwami and 0.
Mm-hmm.
But 3, the remaster is nowhere near the scale that they did with Kiwami. Like Kiwami 1 and 2 are like a straight up remake. So 3 basically just feels like
it's a port.
It's just like a kind of like The Last of Us from PS3 to The Last of Us PS4. Pretty much what it feels like. You're like, oh, I'm basically playing the game. So it actually feels like a downgrade coming off of 1 and 2.
They didn't give it the full HD treatment.
Yeah, like it looks good and all that, but I'm feeling more like hardware constraints that I wasn't feeling, and it doesn't feel as organic. There isn't as many people like kind of standing around in the streets. Like I'm like 2 blocks away from a guy, I can see him. I'm like, that guy's got something for me to do. I can just tell by the way he's standing there. Whereas like the Kiwami games, like you're just like walking around and all of a sudden some guy be like, hey man, wait up. And you're like, I didn't even see that guy there. Like it'll just trigger a cutscene kind of thing. So I think I'm a little underwhelmed coming off the other ones, but it's kind of a different story tone wise, which is good. It's not feeling samey. There's a different area, which is definitely good, refreshing. I was kind of a little bit over running around in Kamurocho, which is the main area from the other 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
You do switch it up a little bit in 0 and Kiwami 2, but 1, you're just in the same part of the city the whole game. So, like, can we just get a different area for once? So there's a little bit of that. But yeah, I think I don't know if I mentioned it on our last episode or not, but I'm kind of making it a thing where I'm going to try to at least beat all the mainline Yakuza games this year. So sticking with that.
The new one sounds really interesting, though.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got every Yakuza or Yakuza adjacent game.
Oh, the
like
Judgment.
I've got Judgment. I've got Fist of the North Star: Lost Paradise, which is essentially just a Yakuza game in Fist of the North Star world. I've got the
Dead Souls.
I've got the feudal. Yeah, I got Dead Souls. I got everyone. I've got the feudal Japan one.
Feudal Japan.
Yeah, there's one for PS3 and PS4. Get over here. Yeah, so you're still like Kiryu, but it's in like feudal Japan.
Oh, I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, there's this one for the PS3, and then there's another one. I'm not going to try to say the name. Kenzen something. But yeah, there's the PS4 one is more of the same, and I'm just hoping that I can kind of figure out my way through these.
I'm sure they have subtitles.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But there's like a patch or something. Yeah. He's wearing a kimono instead of his gray suit with the red shirt that he has in every other game.
He's really Hanzo Hasashi.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. There's even 2 PSP ones that no one ever talks about. I tend to play those one of these days.
Like Kenko Banchi.
So I mean, I've got all Yakuza. So even ones I don't even know what the hell's going on. So I think that no my luck, I'll start playing those and I'll get fair way through and they'll be like, just announced the feudal Yakuza games are coming out, and I'm like,
Kiwami.
You dicks.
Kenzen Kiwami.
So yeah, I'm all in on that series. So I want to at least get through the mainline ones, and I'll explore the side stuff. That's another point. I know we were bitched about it here and there a little bit. I gave up. I couldn't wait any longer. I started playing the Avengers game.
No shame.
I'm not ashamed. I'm still pissed off. I want Spider-Man, goddammit.
Yeah, we all got screwed on that.
He's not even mentioned in their.
You can at least play as Hawkeye, right?
In the roadmap, yeah. So
that's Spider-Man, though.
well, they added in campaigns and stuff for Hawkeye. The Black Panther one's coming out soon.
That's good.
But I'm actually what I do get in the game. I like.
Like I was saying, I played the demo and I liked what I played in the demo.
It feels very mission based. So you select from it's one of those kind of games where you can like do just the story missions, but there's also side ones, and you select it all from the war table. Like on the helicarrier kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the way that it started. I'm not. I don't know. I'll say I'm probably like 6 hours in, so I've kind of got a little bit of the variety of it, and so far, I like it for the most part.
Yeah, that boss fight with Abomination was a pain in the ass.
When you figure out how to do, like, I had to reload the checkpoint because I actually beat him to the part where he like kind of like slumps down, and you're supposed to try to like shock him with the lightning, in that area. But the lightning wasn't reaching him, and he wasn't getting back up. So I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And I was like, maybe something was supposed to trigger when I beat him, because I was like, I beat him because he's not moving, and I can't hurt him anymore. It's saying shielded. And I was like, ran around in the room for like 10 minutes. That's the only part that I kind of got stuck at. And I was like, oh. And then I
glitchy.
I was like, is there something I'm supposed to figure out what to do? So I did that. But besides that, it's been a pretty fun game. One thing I don't like is there's like level locked stuff. So there's like missions that are on my war table, and it's like, yeah, you're like 25 levels too low to even try this. I'm like, why'd you give me it then?
Yeah, why is it here?
So I'm like, I'm not liking that RPG part. That feels like an RPG feel, like, oh, you can't even challenge this thing yet. Don't go near this. Like, don't have it dangling over me. I'm kind of a completionist. So, I'm assembling all the Avengers. I haven't, you play a little bit of each of them at the beginning, but
which is fun as hell.
One thing I didn't really like, they've got Mrs. Marvel, but it's not Captain Marvel. Yeah. And it's not Miss Marvel, which is Captain Marvel with a different name. You have this girl named Kamala Khan, and she gets
Plastic Man.
She's basically Mr. Fantastic, and I don't know why they didn't just have Mr. Fantastic if they're going to do that, because she's a pretty new character as far as comics go. I think she's only been in there maybe like 4 or 5 years,
and she already got her own TV show.
Yeah, she got stretchy hands, and Mr. Fantastic. She can make her hands big and fat. Okay,
she's punchy.
So she's fun to play as. She's just kind of a stupid character, honestly. Like, it's like, this is a pointless character. But it's just kind of like, she's basically Cole from Mortal Kombat. I was trying not to say it. She's Cole from Mortal Kombat. And I feel like this could have been Spider-Man, man.
You're just so bitter. It's all going to come back to Spider-Man.
Well, because she's going, we got to go put this together, help out Mr. Stark. I'm like, every time I hear Mr. Stark now, all I think is Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. I'm like, sorry, Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good.
I don't like this. Easily could have been Spider-Man. I bet you it was supposed to be Spider-Man, but then Sony's like, no, we want Spider-Man. No one else gets Spider-Man. So like, we need someone that everyone can use, then I guess. So fuck Sony.
PlayStation exclusive, bitches.
So yeah, that part kind of bugs me because there's quite a while where I was playing where I was like, okay. Can I get to be the Hulk? Why the Hulk's with me? Yeah. Can I switch to the Hulk, Elliot? No.
Just when the boss battle happens.
They're Kamala. Yeah. So I'm to the part now where it's let me be a couple of the people, and I'm like, all right, it's not so annoying, but at first you're like, it'd be like playing a Ghostbusters game and you're Louis Tully. You're just like walking around with them while they ghost bust.
You're just watching them bust the ghosts,
and you get to throw it a trap once in a while or something.
You want to play some Parcheesi?
Like I said, she's not horrible to play.
Because that was fun playing. I thought it was fun playing with her in the demo.
Yeah, because they play fine. And one thing I gotta say though is they kind of blended together. Her and Hulk play kind of a lot the same, except for her stretchy abilities.
Yeah, because she's the beat him up and he's a beat him up type guy.
Yeah, Iron Man. Iron Man was fun to play. I played
I thought Thor was fun. Even Black Widow.
The weird, yeah, they're all fun because you fight Taskmaster. I've already fought him as Black Widow, and that was pretty cool. And then you play as, like, you can tell it's Crystal Dynamics, and they worked on like the Tomb Raider games, and I can tell because there's a few parts like in the in between levels, the story levels where you're like, I feel like I'm playing Tomb Raider or Uncharted right now. And that's not a bad thing. Like, it's
I love that gameplay.
It's fun. So it's cool. Like I said, it's just like, I want to play a character that is on the cover of the game. I think she might be. I might have just not noticed because Iron Man and Hulk and shit are all there.
I'll eventually play it. I have it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I was actually I
demo.
asked you because I got an extra copy of it because my copy I pre-ordered. Guess where it is? Yeah, you know where it is. And then I bought a stack of PS4 games off a local girl, so it was in there. So I paid like $5 for it again. I'm like, so glad I paid full price for it.
You can still get that refund.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, why couldn't it have been like an Xbox copy? Because that's what makes me extra mad that I bought it on PS4 basic for Spider-Man. And I've got 2 copies of it. Spider-Man ain't on either.
Still ain't even there.
Some
of my bitches.
So I was like, God damn it. But I'm liking it so far. It doesn't seem to. I don't know. I don't know if it's the leveling thing, but some things seem.
The loot thing was kind of like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They really tried it. Like every time you go to the menu, it's like, hey, look, all this stuff you could buy. At least in the game right now, it's not like, oh, you'd be able to do that better if you bought a skin. So it's not like passive aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Knowing them, they know how to do it too. They'd have like Tony Stark be like, oh, well, maybe you need to do an upgrade. Kind of using your old tech there, hey? Just chirp you the whole time.
I just want to upgrade my repulsors like in Iron Man VR.
Yeah. So it was it's good so far. I'm gonna reserve judgment until like I actually beat it. And if they're keeping these campaigns come out and they're free, I'll probably check back later. From what I understand,
it seems like No Man's Sky, where everyone was bitching about it at the start, but now people are kind of like, "Oh, it's actually really good."
Yeah, for the most part, people are also bitching that like
Spider-Man.
There's Spider-Man's always a thing, but there's also like, why not just add more characters rather than like skins are coming out? I guess all the time they're like, oh, endgame skins. Who cares? How about another character? There's so many to draw from, But
where's Doctor Strange, motherfuckers?
Yeah, like I'm liking what I played, so I'll judge it. At the end, I'll give an actual review to it. But besides that, I've been bouncing around. I've been playing a lot of the arcade games again, like I mentioned at work. I've plowed through a bunch of those. I beat the backlog roulette game. That's one of the only games I've actually beat at my house in the last long while. So I'm glad I actually managed to get through it. Keep up the streak. That was only slightly sullied that one time because I flat out forgot that I didn't play it.
That was funny.
I played the new wrestling game featuring John Riggs. Our buddy John Riggs.
Yeah, he's like in the commentator table, right?
Yeah, Retromania Wrestling, which is a spiritual successor to WWF WrestleFest. So in anticipation of getting these, I played Superstars and WrestleFest, so I beat both those. And then I played this, and it's a perfect love letter to those games. It's pretty brief, though. I fucking steamrolled it. Like there's the story mode, which doesn't take very long at all. Then there's a thing called 10 pounds of gold. And I want to say it's like the equivalent of a Mortal Kombat tower to get a championship. So you fight through like a gauntlet of like 12 matches, and then
game over.
You're the champion. and they throw it. It's the same. It's the same with no matter how you do it. But then there's one of the achievements is to play through the 10 pounds of gold with 5 people, and I did it with I think 3 the first night that I was playing it, and then the second day I played it, I did 2 more, and I was like, "That's 5. I can count to 5." It should say 6 because it took 6. I did 1 more, and I don't know. I played with both the Road Warriors. So like I don't know, maybe the Road Warriors count as 1 because they both similar characters. I don't know.
Tag team.
So I was like, I'm enjoying the game, and so I played through it again, and then I got it. So yeah, it was really easy achievement wise too. So it was really fun. I'm glad it finally came out. It was in I don't know, seemed was getting delay after delay, but it paid off. It was a lot of fun, but it was just pretty brief and easy. Like it's kind of I don't know, I like it, but it's very basic. It's not super in depth.
It's supposed to be like an NES throwback, right?
Yeah, well, it's like an old arcade. It's like a 16-bit arcade game. So
yeah,
it was cool for what it was. I bought a Microsoft card for the Xbox to buy it, and then promptly lost it for like 12 days. And then I found it when I wasn't even looking for it in the place where I had looked for it already 5 times. Like 2 days after.
Your house isn't haunted.
I gave up, and I was like, I swear I brought it out here because I had it out here. It was like right here on the desk. Yeah, and then it was right there. I moved something that I'd already moved. There you go. So anyway, and then I go to buy it, and it just says play now, meaning it was already.
Oh, was it on Game Pass?
It was already installed on my Xbox because my friend bought it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, of course he bought it. I could play any of the last couple WWE 2K games because he buys every wrestling game. Like, why did I even? Of course he bought it, and we like count share. You know, we like we make his Xbox. I say is my home Xbox or my main Xbox. He says mine is his, so anything he buys shows up on mine. Same with my brother. Whatever he buys shows up on mine. So, you know, every year Call of Duty shows up, and then I go, oh, I must bought Call of Duty, and then I erase it because it takes up way too much space.
Yeah, especially that Warzone bullshit.
So yeah, I was just like, well, goddamn. So then I played it, and I've just got $50 to spend on whenever I feel like it now, I guess. So I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't buy it for the price that it was, because I don't think it was really worth that price for a digital version, at least, because I think it's like a $30-something game.
Oh, jeez.
So I was like,
nope.
I enjoyed it, but I think it was more like a $20 game, 15, whatever. But yeah, I think definitely check it out if you like old school wrestling games. Besides that, yeah, I've been kind of bouncing all over the place. Started the Doom Eternal extra stuff too. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a lot of games, which is kind of why my beats are all out of whack.
I'm in between games right now.
Man, well, what have you been playing? Let's hear about it.
Well, I brought up the PS3, the new PS3 that I bought, because the hard drive of my old one was so small. I knew they were going to be shutting down the PS3 store, so I wanted to get a new PS3 so I could download all the updates that I didn't have for all the games I had before they disappear.
Okay.
And the day after I buy my new PS3, they announced they're not going to shut down the PS3 store. But I've been doing it anyway. I've been going through my entire PS3 collection, putting each game in, installing the update, and then putting it back on the shelf. And when I was doing that, I put in 007 Quantum of Solace. And when it was updating, I was like, I could have sworn like after I beat Bloodstone, I started playing this and I got pretty far in it, and I just stopped playing it for whatever reason. And I looked, and sure enough, I was about a little past halfway through the game. And I was like, I'll just beat it while I'm here. So yeah, I just played through the rest of it and beat it. And it's kind of cool because you start off playing as in Quantum of Solace, and then it flashes back to Casino Royale, and then you play through like all of Casino Royale, and then you do like the final battle from Quantum of Solace, where you're like in that dude's house in the desert.
Yeah, I actually really liked that game. Like,
it's really fun.
Like everyone, every game is going to be overshadowed by the success of GoldenEye, but you're like, there's actually most Bond games are really good.
Yeah,
especially the console ones. Like,
I really enjoyed it. It was like a first-person shooter until you go to like a cover situation, and it turns into like a third-person cover game.
mhm.
But I actually like the game more than the actual movie Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, definitely. I just like the way they blended the two because that's one of the only Bond movies that's kind of like a sequel. You know, they're all sequels, but like a straight up continuation of the story.
Yeah,
You're like,
Quantum of Solace was the first Bond movie to be a direct sequel to the movie that came before it.
Because every
And so
Bond
it
movie
kind of makes sense that they put those two movies together in one game.
exactly, and like every Bond movie, he falls in love, and then you never see that bitch again in the next movie. So
Just so happens that Quantum of Solace has like the worst Bond girl ever in it.
yeah,
Both of the Bond girls in it were pretty terrible.
yeah.
Let's get a Russian girl to play a Brazilian girl.
Okay. Yeah, but
yeah, I couldn't stand that movie, but the game was a lot of fun. I especially love the last mission when you're like in that house out in the middle of the desert. That was a lot of fun. But then, like,
oh yeah,
even that scene on the stairwell from Casino Royale was a lot of fun. Where like Vesper's like trying to get away from the fight, and we just keep catching back up to her, and it was really fun the way that played out. I liked it a lot.
yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Like, I haven't played it since it was like new, but I remember being like, man, check this out. I'm like, because everyone goes into every game expecting GoldenEye. And you're like, it's not GoldenEye,
No.
but it's still a good Bond game. Like GoldenEye when it came out last gen wasn't GoldenEye either.
No.
Which is why it did so bad. But it was a good game on its own. It just wasn't. It was a lie. That was about it. Like
Yeah.
it was a modern.
It wasn't called the remake. It was called GoldenEye Reloaded. It was an update.
Yeah, it was a straight up
remake.
straight up modernization of the story. Because like, if they made it again, you'd be like, what the?
Why is it so 90s?
Yeah, they would have had to set it back in the 90s to make it make sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I got to play through that. I still got to play through that, but I had so much fun playing through Quantum of Solace. When I was done with it, I was like, I want to play through 007 Legends now.
Oh yeah, I haven't checked that out. I'm halfway through GoldenEye.
I still got to play that.
I beat Bloodstone obviously a month ago. Yeah, I was like three-quarters of the way through GoldenEye. That Quantum of Solace, and Legends I have on the Wii U and the 360, and I just have never popped it in.
Yeah.
One of these days.
I think I kind of feel like I want to play through all my Bond games now.
They're fun.
I want to play through. Definitely want to play through Everything or Nothing again because that's probably my favorite Bond game.
Yeah, that's the only one I don't have the console version of. I think I'm missing it, and I really want it.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get a GameCube version of it because most of the Bond games I have, besides From Russia with Love, are all on like the GameCube from that gen. But yeah, well, one of these days. I've got the Game Boy Advance Everything or Nothing, but I'm sure it's not the same.
And then I played through. The only reason I put it in was because Captain Algebra played it earlier this month and beat it. And when I was updating Dante's Inferno for the PS3, I was just like, I've always wanted to play this. I've had it for so long. I should probably play it now because it's here. So I did, and it's like a God of War knockoff.
So good.
But you're going through like the 9 levels of hell or whatever, and it's really fun. Like there's some tough shit going on in it too. I mean, there's the last boss has like 3 forms, and the second form is like fucking hard as hell.
Yeah.
But there's also like these trials you have to do before you get to the final boss. And like they weren't too bad until like the last one you had to do was you have like a combo counter that racks up the more hits you get on enemies, and it's like you can't never let the hit counter reset.
Yeah.
And I did that like 12, 15 times because I just could not. I'd be getting there, and all of a sudden one guy would hit me like when I wasn't looking, and it would
from behind
knock
you
me out of my rhythm, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
I have to redo it again.
Yeah, that challenge room stuff, I either love it or absolutely despise it. The Avengers game has it, and I don't like it. That game, I remember thinking it was not too bad until then, And then there's the Batman games where I like played through the game and I was like, all right, now I'm gonna play these challenges, and I quit after the first one. I was like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah, no
like
thanks.
I like the combat in those games, but having to do it absolutely flawlessly with using every single gadget at your disposal
No thanks.
to actually get the 3 stars, you're like, how about I just survive it?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's one of the best looking games on the PS3, like from that generation.
Yeah,
The design, the art design and everything just looks freaking great and grotesque and really cool design wise. But like, I just wanted to stop. Like half the time I would just stop and look at things.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. And like, I think I bought that Agony game
Mm-hmm.
that everyone was ripping on except Church
I didn't like it all
because
that much.
I haven't even played it because I saw the visuals and they reminded me of that game, and I was like, I know it's not
What
going to
is
be the
it?
same. I know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not even the same type of game, but I'm like,
No,
I'm
it's
like
a walking. That's a walking simulator.
yeah, absolutely. But I meant like it reminded me of it like art style wise, and I was like,
yeah.
I just remember how beautiful like I thought that game was. Like,
Yeah, what's
that
so
was-
beautiful when Lucifer's fighting you with his dong hanging out?
well, shit. I just mean like graphics wise, like it just
Yeah.
the like the creativity of the levels and everything was just awesome. And it was one of the few games I got to beat before it actually was released. So I was like, I always kind of held special regard to that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I liked it a lot. I wish, well, I mean, there wouldn't have been a sequel, but I would have liked to have seen something else like that. But that's why we got the God of War games, because it plays exactly the same.
Oh yeah, if you want some more God of War, there's a couple other decent clones. A Ghost Rider game comes to mind, or being a pretty fun Ghost Rider kind of clone.
So yeah, those are the only 2 games I've
God of
played
War.
through and beaten recently.
Sweet.
But yeah, I'm gonna play through my other Bond games, and I really want to play 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Did you happen to play your roulette pick?
I did. I
What'd
didn't
you
beat
think?
it as usual, but I played it.
What'd you think?
I've always liked it. I bought it back in the day when it first came out. So last time I got Star Trek the motion picture, Star Trek The Next Generation Futures Past on the Super Nintendo, and I had it back in the day, and I liked it. I still like it. It's fun. It's a little clunky at times. There's like 3 play styles. You are either on the bridge of the Enterprise, and you can like go to all the different stations. There's like an engineering station, sensors, tactical, nav, comm. You can go to the transporter room, the briefing room.
10 forward.
And no, you can't go 10 forward. I can't. You can't get drunk on that synthol, bro. There's that, and then there's like on foot levels where it's like playing Legend of Zelda a little bit, but you have a team of 4, and you kind of have to account for them getting injured by things and stuff like that. Because if one person falls, the mission's over, and you have to start over. And there's usually like puzzle things you got to do in those stages, and a little bit of light combat. No, I got to interact with characters sometimes, and then there's like a dogfight thing where it's like playing Asteroids. Where like you have this big screen that'll show you like the 3D version of what's going on, but you don't actually control that part of it. There's a little map, like a radar at the bottom that shows the Enterprise in the middle, and they show the other ship like buzzing around you, and you have to constantly hit it with your phasers to knock the shields out. And once you do, you can hit it with the photon torpedoes and disable it or destroy it or whatever. And depending on what you do in some of these things, it can affect the storyline, because one of the first things that happens is you get attacked by a Romulan ship. And if you destroy the Romulan ship, it affects the way the game will play out, because you'll have like enemies, you'll have Romulans looking for you the whole rest of the game. If you don't destroy it and contact them instead, that part is left out, and it makes the game a little bit easier. But it has decent graphics. They actually has like a mode 7 Enterprise going to warp cutscene thing. The graphics for the characters look pretty good. The music is really, really out of place. Sometimes it'll like when you're on the bridge, it plays like this minimalist version of the theme song. It'll be like do 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 do, like real quiet. But when you get to like a on foot mission, it plays like this like disco sounding jive stuff.
Rick James just does the...
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, what does this have anything to do with Star Trek? This is funny.
I'm like, that's weird. I'm on an away mission. It's playing Hard to Get by Rick James. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the on-foot levels, which is what you're doing most of the time, can be kind of clunky because, like, they designed the graphics in a certain way that it's kind of hard to tell where pathways are. Because, like, in the first stage the first time you do it, you have to, like, go through this room that's full of boxes, and you can't really tell if there's a gap between the boxes that you can walk between because the way they drew them or whatever. So it's kind of like a lot of trial and error trying to figure out where you can go and stuff. And, like, you're always getting caught on corners and stuff. And, like, one time I was playing, I had Worf, Riker, Data, and Dr. Crusher in my party. And I was playing as Worf, and I was off by myself because dragging along the other three people can be a real pain in the ass, and you can get them killed real easy. And I was just trying to turn the corner. And I just kept getting caught on the corner, and I had to keep, like, doing, like, these loops around the corner so I wouldn't get caught. Because it was just kind of frustrating. But, I mean, on top of that, it's fun. It feels like you're playing a big episode of Next Generation.
That's the thing that's kind of always bugged me when I was younger is I always, like, Next Generation is my favorite Star Trek, and I always wanted, like, a really action-oriented, like you said, like, top-down, isometric. Like, if that was the whole game, I would have been fine with it if it was just all away missions.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, just super action-y, basically like Star Trek Diablo.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that is the biggest part. The biggest play part of it is the way mission stuff.
Yeah, I remember playing because I've got it. I remember my friend and I playing it back in the day because he was huge Star Trek fan, and just being, like, a little underwhelmed. Like, Star Trek's not always all about the action, and I get that, but I kind of wanted, like, a crazy action filled, like.
That's the Star Trek game for the Xbox 360.
Yeah. Which one's that?
The one based on the JJ movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's the one that's like Gears of War.
Star Trek of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. But I mean, like, I kind of just wanted one back in the day. I remember because I bought the Game Boy one, and the Game Boy one's basically like the NES.
That's horrible.
Like the NES one, but puke green.
Ugh, they're bad. Those are horrible. This one is, if of all the Next Generation games that there are on the consoles, this one's probably my favorite one.
Okay, that's good.
It's fun. I mean, as a kid, I think I kind of wanted the same thing because, I'm like, video games. It's all about action and shit. I
just need some bleep bloops.
Yeah, as an adult, it's nice to have, like, a story to go along with it because it feels like a big extended episode of the show. Like,
I remember, I just hated how vague the Game Boy game was. Because the Game Boy one and the NES one are the exact same game.
Yeah,
right?
It's just all of this is little mini games,
and it doesn't be like, hey, check out. Like it'll mention, but it doesn't tell you how to do it.
There's something going on at this system, but go check it out. It's like you need to fly through these rings in order to achieve orbit.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to beam these people up. It's like playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah, and I remember being like, I remember having to figure it all out because it doesn't tell you how to do anything.
Yeah, it's just mini games.
I got it, and I was probably like, I don't know, 8. Trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is this?
I'm glad that I remember I asked for it for Christmas or something back when I was a kid when it first came out, or I don't even know if I had my NES when it came out, but whatever. I remember I asked for it one Christmas and my parents didn't get it. They got me something else, and actually, the first time I owned it was when I own it now, like when I bought it like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I was glad that I did not get it that Christmas because I probably would have been pissed.
I remember we were on, like, a family trip to, like, Toronto or something, and I remember being at this place. There was just a shit ton of video games, and I had money for one game, and that's the game I bought. Out of all the Game Boy games I could have bought, I bought it. I remember because it was a cheaper one too, probably because it sucked.
There's
like
a reason for that.
Yeah, I remember it being like $25, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Star Trek game!" And I really. Because, I didn't have very many games. I really had to appreciate them. And I never got fucking anywhere in that game. Sometimes I just stumble upon some Ferengi warships and be like, yeah! And then be like, now what do I do? I still don't know.
It sucked. That did suck so bad.
Yeah. I should make that a goal to beat at some point.
Beat all the Star Trek games?
Just beat that one. Finally beat that. Finally know what the hell to do.
It's probably like an old Atari 2600 game. It's just on a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
I turned over the score counter.
First of all, look, can you beat this game? Okay. Then if I get stuck, I'll have no shame and be like, I don't give a shit. I'm beating this. Well,
What was your game?
I got Nightmare Creatures, and it's a game. The only game on my list, I think, that I've even put on my list that I've played more than like 20 minutes, half an hour of before. But I've never beat it. So I was like, I really need to beat this game. And I finally did. I still love it just as much as I did. It's kind of clunky playing now, but the stuff I always loved about it, I still love. I found more things to appreciate about it. I think it holds up because of nostalgia, but if I played it now, I'd probably be like, what the hell is this? But yeah, I played the N64 version, and I had it back in the day. It was one of the first games I wanted to reacquire when I started collecting again, when I was trying to rebuild the N64 collection. And yeah, excellent game. It definitely holds up to me, but I think something if you played it now, you'd be like, what the fuck am I playing? But then after beating it, I actually started the second one on the Dreamcast, which I had never played.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of fun too. So I'm going to keep going with that. As far as games at home, that's probably my current game at the house. I'll be challenging. I don't know. I've got a pretty good stretch of days. So I'm hoping to get my shit together, get my beat tweets back up to caught up, and plow through games as normal, so no one thinks I died. I've been playing games. Goddamn. Yeah, I want to start from the beginning, and that's what's kind of gumming me up. I should have been adding the Turtles games as I beat them, and that's what I did not do. So yeah, Nightmare Creatures still holds up to me. I mean, it's nothing to like God of War or anything like that. It almost feels like, I don't want to say Resident Evil.
Well, it's like a beat 'em up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a beat 'em up. It's like beat 'em up, old school Resident Evil kind of feeling to it. Either like Victorian era, you're in like London. It feels like Jack the Ripper type shit. But it's the first game I ever remember having dismemberment in it. You like chop off dudes' arms and just the crunchy sound. I still love the sound effects in this game. Just and then you hit these zombies and they just go, oh, every time, and I'm like, that's still one of my favorite video game sound effects. I don't know, they don't sound like zombies, they sound more like old men. Oh, so
my Geritol wore off.
Yeah, when I fall down at work, that's what I sound like probably.
Oh,
yeah.
At least they don't sound like Shaq when he falls. Like, oh God, no.
Oh Lord. Yeah, so it was
LeBron, help me out.
I'm really happy to finally add that to my beat list. I don't know why.
I still gotta play it. I have it. I still have to play it though.
The thing that I think stopped me from beating it back in the day is how shitty the N64 memory cards were.
Oh, they're always corrupting your file.
I was gonna say, I know you weren't a big fan, so you maybe don't even know, but yeah.
Oh, it happened to me with Turok 2 a lot.
It was constantly like, oh, have to reread and like, is it there or not?
Yeah, I remember it did that to me whenever I played Turok 2. I'd get really, really far, and I would save, and then I would go back to play it, and it would be like, your file is not there.
Yeah, so they were like Alzheimer's memory cards, and that's what the challenge was there. I waited till I had enough time where I thought I could, like, I looked up how long to beat on the site, and I was like, all right, I think I should have around that time today. I remember I had to leave it paused for a bit, but I basically just played through it all at once.
It's a cartridge game. It's fine.
I did reload a couple times and stuff, and it at least held my save for then. But yeah, like, so I was like, save it on the cartridge. It's not that impressive of a game. If Ocarina of Time can save my game, if Mario 64 can save my game, like Nightmare Creatures, you can save my game, bro.
Or just play the PlayStation version.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't have that one, but I'll probably get it at some point, but like, yeah, my nostalgia was for the N64 one, so that's the one I went for. I bought it totally blind buy back in the day. I never even rented it. I bought it from the rental store without renting it, and was pleasantly surprised. I remember recommending it to a lot of people.
Yay!
So yeah, that's all in the past. Let's see what we're gonna play next time. Before next time.
On what?
The backlog roulette, which is like any other roulette. You got 0, you got double 0, and then you got 1 to 36. We make a list of all games we want to play. Our stipulation is we go from last gen to, well, I guess 360 PS3 gen is what we started with. We'll have to debate if it's going to start including PS4 and Xbox. But
Actually, give it a year.
yeah. Well, the reason it was because we found we were only playing the current games, and we're like, well, we got these backlogs. We collect for all this crap. How about we play some of it?
Yep.
So that's why we put that stipulation on ourselves. And to make it accessible, we try to go through games that we figure are going to be about 10 or less hours to beat. So there's a chance that we can beat it by the next episode if we like it, if we don't give up on it, or it's too jank, whatever.
Or you're like me and you get all the bad ones.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you liked that one time.
I like the last few.
Yeah. So you said yeah. So sometimes they're winners, sometimes they're losers, but we find out instead of them just sitting on the shelf. So please make a list of your own and participate with us. And if you do, hashtag backlog roulette or tag Chris or myself in it so we can see what you've been playing, because we want to see that. This is all about participation, community. We want to see what everyone's playing. So without any further ado, let's spin that wheel.
I hope I don't get a PSP game.
Here we go. Okay, good. It's not as overzealous as last time. I swear last time it was going for like 2 minutes. And we got number 5.
Oh. I got PN03 on the GameCube.
GameCube, I got that one too. Ooh, I'm actually every time I like reorganize my GameCube when it comes to that one, I always look at it like I should check this out.
I just put my fucking GameCube away too. Shit.
You got the Wii out?
Nope.
Well, damn. Where's my list here? Oh no, I saved it on my N64 memory card.
Oh no, it's gone, bro. It's in the wind.
All right, where is it here? Well, it looks like it's my turn to play a Star Trek game.
Oh.
I've got Star Trek Voyager, the PS2 one. What's it called?
The Elite Force.
Elite Force. Yeah, I just got I just wrote Voyager PS2.
That one's pretty fun. It's Star Wars,
Yeah.
Star Trek Doom.
Yeah, so sweet. I've been wanting to play that one for a long time, but I think I didn't play it because it was on my list. So my turn to talk about Trek next time.
Hell yeah.
I'm always down for talking about Trek. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of Janeway in there. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, she's in it.
It's a shooter, so that's why I wanted to have it, but it's probably
see.
Well, since I haven't even really watched, aside from Picard, I haven't watched the last 2 Star Trek shows. Voyager is my least favorite Star Trek
Yeah, that's
show.
mine too.
So there's that.
Well, you're going to see a lot of 7 of 9 Lara Croft pointy boobage.
Okay, well, I can deal with that. I just don't. I'm not a Kate Mulgrew fan in general. I don't know. Is what it is. If I do see her, I'll obviously testing my blaster to see if it lets me shoot her or not. Oh, Ensign, stop. What
are you doing?
Shouldn't have gave me a phaser rifle, I guess. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that.
It's fun. It's a fun one.
Cute. Do you play as like one of the main crew, or you play as
No,
just like
you
a rando?
you play as like a security
I'm
officer.
a red shirt. Yes. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to. I didn't totally hate Voyager. It just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, too much of a Star
I
Trek
mean-
Next Generation ripoff for me,
Yeah.
and I didn't like
Oh,
any of the characters.
I was just gonna say a lot of the characters kind of grated on me. It didn't,
Yeah,
like,
they're
really-
all
they didn't, like-
bland and samey.
The Doctor was probably the best part.
Yeah, it really shows in the last season because the last season basically focuses on the Doctor specifically.
Well, you knew he was a breakout character when they figured out a way to make it so he could leave sickbay with the
Yeah.
little thing on his arm.
And they try to make. There's an episode where he tries to like hook up with Seven of Nine.
Who didn't? Who didn't?
He gets friend zoned.
Well, damn.
Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. Hopefully, you enjoy your game. Hopefully,
I
you
hope
beat
so.
it. What if you beat it and I didn't one time? That'd be crazy.
nah, that'll never happen.
That'd be this series finale.
Here's Jason like night before. I'm gonna stay up to fucking 5 a.m. playing this bitch.
I can't let him beat the game, and I didn't beat the game. Turns out it's a 60-hour Star Trek game. Damn it.
Piano 3 always looked interesting to me though. I mean, I remember I played it when I first got it, and then like usual, something else came out and took my attention away.
Yeah, it's like some kind of isn't it kind of a cyberpunk looking game too? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like you're like a woman that's like half robot, half
Yeah,
human.
Kind of reminded me.
I
of
just
it.
remember you flipping around and shooting people.
Yeah, like so. You have to tell me how it is. Maybe if I get enough time to play my game, beat it, finish Nightmare Creatures
That is
2.
the ultimate fuck you, Pico.
What? No, I don't do it.
I beat my game. Now it'll be your game.
I don't do it as a fuck you. I do it as
I know.
honest-
I laugh when I was like that shows you how often I can play. How much time I actually spend playing video games.
I don't do it to fart in your general direction.
Oh, do I
Yeah.
smell the elderberries?
But yeah, I'm excited. As I said, anyone else that's playing along, let us know what you got.
I know one person that's
Tag us in it?
anxiously awaiting.
Oh, I'm glad he's not waiting for, like, that's the only way he.
I'm sure.
picks
I
a
told
game
him
to
I was
play.
doing it tonight. I told him we were doing it. So I'm guaranteeing first thing in the morning I'm gonna have a message in my inbox. So what number did you get?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
He
try and
asked,
have this
he
up
asked
right
me
away.
on Tuesday, "Are you doing another? When's the next one coming out, Pico?" I'm like,
Yeah.
well, we're recording it on Saturday. He's like, okay.
Well, it's not due to lack of trying. We were trying to figure out even like an alternate night, but I've been on. It's been my fault. Last couple weeks, I've been on overnights on
Don't forget,
Saturdays.
I've had shit going on too. So
Well, you're cool and you get to do things, and there's things you can do in your area. I got no excuse to not do one as long as it's like not.
well,
work.
I was mad because I was supposed to go see that Statham movie that one Friday you wanted to record, and then we ended up not doing it.
I was still around.
I was just kind of like, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep.
I had a disappointment. All
Yeah.
right. Well, you should have stuck with your favorite Jason instead.
For ease.
Yeah, more like, yeah, it's right there. You didn't think I meant me.
Tale of two Jasons.
Yeah. Come on, man. I'm more like this guy. I feel like him anyway.
Gervais,
Right on.
Gervais.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you
So
see
someone
Chris-
on a rider pops up. The fuck? You kleptomaniac? What you doing here?
I don't want her in here.
Kleptomaniac, you?
She can be part of the podcast or something. We can.
Yeah. As
but
long as
she
you
can't
got
be- it's all-
security
it's not
on here
gonna be-
24 hours a day.
It's going to be a Zoom. It's going to be this style. We're going to meet on StreamYard. It's not going to be in person.
Yeah. No, you got her handcuffed the whole time.
Yeah. Goddamn. She was Spock's mom. Okay.
Star Trek. Yay.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I hope your game's awesome because I'm coming for it. Just kidding. But yeah, I need an excuse to actually play that. I'm surprised that's not on my list already.
I'm going to funnel all my hatred of G1 into the playing of that game.
There you go. There's a lot of it. Yeah. But kudos to you for letting me talk about picking up that jazz figure and not just making armpit fart sounds
Just
the whole time.
picking up my computer and throwing it across the room.
He just, ah!
Fuck this shit!
He's Hulk smashing your keyboard.
Beast Wars, bitch!
Just
Rescue Box!
Robots in Disguise was better. Oh, jeez. Really rubbing the salt in the wound there. At least say Armada or something. Well, right on. Well, if you're stuck around this long, you are a saint. And we hope to catch you again soon on the next episode of Super Enabler Bros. We'll see you next time.
Whoop!
Bye!
Hasta la vista, baby.
Goodbye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.